Alderwoman Lewinsky.
Present.
Alderman Whittington.
Present.
Alderman Clark.
Present.
Alderman Brown.
Present.
Alderman Nesbitt.
Here.
Alderman Price.
Here.
Mayor Kellogg.
Present.
Thank you very much.
Reverend Watts, would you mind doing it?
Like I said, we get to even our mayor and our aldermen come together in agreement that we straight thing. That you, probably in the name of Jesus, actually, that on this council, like, person on our city, good father, for Catherine, in his name.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 4 on the agenda will be presentations, jail workers' compensation, insurance plan renewal.
Well, good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. My name is Steve Morcus. I'm Senior Vice President of International, and pleasure to be here this evening. I'm going to really just kick off a few comments. I don't need prepared comments. Cliff has got some things he wants to say, but I simply wanted to, and Cliff reminded me that I went way over my time last week when we were here. I think I spent about 2 hours, speaking to this body. But I really wanted to start off by just thanking the administration and members of the City Council for the years that we've worked together. I think we've done a lot of good things. We've had a good partnership together in our partnership with Mr. Taylor, and we hope that that continues. We spent, like I said, several hours last week diving into the specifics of the program and some of the success we've had over the years, and a lot of good questions, a lot of good dialogue, questions about who we are, who Hub is, how we partnered with the city together with Cliff, and I hope that we've been able to adequately answer those questions. As I talked about, our firm headquartered here in Chicago, we are one of the largest firms in the country. We are, I believe, I'm certain Chicago's largest firm and the largest independent firm in the country. And so we have, and with our founders and our chairman having ties to the South Side, specifically the Beverly area. So it's been our pleasure to work with the city, and we hope that that can continue. I'm going to turn it over to Cliff, who's got probably much more elegant and better prepared remarks.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor Kellogg. Alderman Lewinsky, Alderman Whittington, Alderman Clark, Alderman Brown, Alderman Nesbitt, Alderman Price, department heads, city clerk's office, residents. I want to thank you all for allowing me and my team to represent the city of Hartford. Foremost, I want to thank God for putting me in this position to serve the city that I know and love. I want to thank my mother and father for moving to Hartford in 1971 when I was just 4 months old. She's the reason I'm here today. With it being Black History Month, I think it's only fitting that I speak about what she meant to the city and to me. My mother, Gloria Taylor, was the first woman and first Black elected official in the city of Hartford, and I was only 6 years old. She did it during a time where the city was still heavily populated by whites, and she was not welcomed into the political arena by all. During her campaign, she was threatened, called nigger on several occasions, and me and my sister, our lives were threatened. They used to call our house and make threats on what they would do to me and my sister. My mom wanted to drop out of the race, Not because she was scared, because anybody knew my mother, she wasn't scared, but nobody but God. But she feared the safety and welfare of me and my sister. However, my father urged her to continue. Her political supporters urged her to continue. And the community that I grew up in urged her to continue. The village community, and I have some of my friends that are like brothers that are here today that grew up in the village. They rallied around my family. They told her to stay in the race. And she did. And God gave her the victory. While being a Park District Commissioner, she took me with her everywhere, including meetings. And those meetings were boring at a young age, but I sat there and I listened. I saw public service firsthand at a young age, through my teenage years and as an adult. She later ran for city office and was elected as alderman. She held both seats simultaneously as Park District President and as 3rd Ward Alderman, where she was the Economic Development Chairman. During her time, she bought businesses to Harvey, viable businesses, like the 3 hotels you see on 171st and Halsted that are still there and open today, as well as great companies like American Kitchen Delights that sits right there in the 3rd Ward. She held one of the largest back-to-school block parties in the history of Harvey, where the entire Dixie Square lot was full with people, carnival rides, performers, free food, and more importantly, tons of back-to-school supplies for the youth. When she passed in January of 1996 due to complications of cancer, she spent some of her last hours returning calls to residents. This is where I get my dedication from. Why is this so important to me and what I do as an insurance professional and representing Harvey? Like I said before, she took me everywhere with her while she was a public servant. I grew up learning about how to be a community leader and what it meant to serve others. When you look at my history, you see the great accomplishments that me and my team have been able to achieve over the last 20 years. We've had great success for Harvey. When you look at the last 3 years renewal for the health insurance, the average renewal was only 1.6% per year. When you look at the first 4 years that we took over the general liability and workers' compensation program, the average renewal was only 3.3% per year. You can't achieve these type of renewals without doing the work. Insurance companies don't pass out renewals like that. You have to do the work. You can't achieve these type of renewals without understanding your client, implementing programs and procedures, following through on those procedures, and being present. We are professionals. We know our jobs. We get results. There are no certifications like job experience and know-how in the industry. Yeah, I can go and pay $500 here and $1,000 there and go to a 2-day seminar or workshop or do an online study and get a certificate, but that doesn't trump job experience. I've been licensed in the state of Illinois since 1996 with a stellar record and no complaints. I attend annual conferences, workshops, and required continuing education courses in order to keep my skills sharp and to keep up with the trends in my industry. So does my colleague. Some of the workshops I attended are sponsored and held by Hub International. They are an authority in the insurance brokerage industry. I look on the agenda this day and I see you have an RFP process to look at other brokers. Alderman, Alderwoman. You don't need an RFP, because there's no other broker that's better than me for the city of Harvey. I'm gonna repeat that. You don't need an RFP, because there's no other broker better than me for the city of Harvey. There's no better elite team that I put together that I have for this account. This is where my unique history in Harvey is so important. No other broker is going to care about this city the way that I care. No one's going to be dedicated the way that I'm dedicated. Nobody's going to serve this city and its employees the way that I serve. No other broker is going to put in the time like I do without charging you an arm and a leg. The city has unlimited access to me. My hours are not capped. I've gotten calls on Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve when there are serious accidents. And if I'm in town, I'm here, Johnny on the spot. My dedication is real. You don't need that RFP. I'm the best there is for the city of Harvey. Alderman Clark, Alderman Brown. You guys were elected to office almost a year ago. Time is going by quick. I ask that you do not throw away 20 years of hard work. My body of work and my team has proven successful. Afford me the opportunity to show you guys what I've been able to do and what we can do going forward. Afford me that opportunity. Allow yourselves the opportunity to enjoy the success of an effective and efficient insurance program and how we will continue to provide that for the city. Will there be years that are not so good? Yes, just like any other municipality. But we've had more good years than bad. We've had more successes than failures. Allow me that opportunity to show you. Alderman Jawinski, Alderwoman Jawinski, Alderman Winnington, you both have had the opportunity to sit down with us on numerous occasions and discuss renewals in the past. You guys have shown how your pleasure with the job we were doing and the way we explained the plan and how it works. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed except that we haven't been able to meet the last couple of renewal cycles, and that is no fault of ours. Alderman Nesbitt, Alderman Price, thank you for your trust and your belief in us over the years. I remember, Alderman Price, before you really understood the plan, you weren't so sure, but you sat down with me in a renewal meeting. You allowed me to sit down and go over the plan with you. You became more comfortable and you started to appreciate the work we were doing. I thank you, and I appreciate you allowing me that opportunity to prove it to you. Mayor Kellogg, thank you for allowing me and my company to continue to serve the city, and for giving me the opportunity to show the success that we were having before you became mayor. But you also enjoyed this success when you were alderman before coming mayor. So you had an opportunity to see me, to see the work I was able to do. Thank you for allowing us to continue to represent the city of Harvard. I want to read a couple of things here. One from AIG, which is one of our major insurance carriers. They did an assessment of our liability insurance program back in 2014. And it reads, Dear Mr. Taylor, I completed this survey assessment as it relates to the casualty insurance program with AIG. The purpose of this assessment was to identify and evaluate the exposures related to the liability insurance provided through AIG and to assist you in preventing and controlling future losses. Thank you for meeting with me and thank you for your assistance and cooperation. The assessment was based on a review of your operations, policies, procedures, prior accident experience, and a survey of your facility. In general, the safety policies, employee training, incident investigation, and facility safety management reflect good risk and safety management practices. No recommendations are being submitted at this time. Read you another letter from our third-party claims administrator, IPMG. Dear Cliff, on behalf of IPMG, we want to again thank you for all your assistance regarding the city of Harvard. We have achieved great success for this program over the past several years. Your involvement as a client liaison has been very valuable to our process. You have been able to help us optimize the management of the program's loss fund, including additional assistance with authority to review on settlements. This further includes assistance with proper registration specific to Medicare reporting as mandated by the federal government. In short, you have been a key extension, a bridge, if you will, to help and ensure critical information is brought to key individuals of authority at the city of Harvard. This has ensured optimal decisions on claim resolution strategies. In the time you have consulted, you have helped accomplish many initiatives and provided exceptional service to the program. You have been a complete team member and a consummate professional. Thank you again for all you do. We look forward to yet another year of a successful program here. City Council, we humbly ask that you will accept the general liability and workers' compensation insurance plan renewal. Over 20 years of work and relationships should not be ignored, especially when the work is being done. Let's tonight, let's all work together for continued improvement for this great city. In the book of Psalms, chapter 133, verse 1, it reads, Behold, how good it is and how pleasant it is when brethren dwell together in unity. I'm going to repeat that. Behold, how good it is and how pleasant it is when brethren dwell together in unity. Just think of how much we could do if we dwell together in unity. Just think of how much we could achieve and how faster we could achieve it if we dwell together in unity. And if I can close, I will close from a quote from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The time is always right to do what is right. I ask you for your continued support. I thank you for listening. I thank you for your time. Residents, thank you for listening.
Let me, again, both of you outstanding young men for this remarkable presentation. And what I would do at my PowerPoint, there was some concerns regarding the history or the analysis of the broker relationship. And so during my portion of the meeting, I would certainly try to expound on the analysis of the brokers through various errors and various merits. And certainly, Mr. Taylor, we certainly thank you. Ms. Marcus, we certainly thank you. You guys have just done a tremendous job at City of Harvey. Certainly appreciate your professionalism, your due diligence, and more importantly, just your hard work. Thank you. With that said, we'll move to the city treasurer's report. Forgive me, I'm looking ahead at it. You have to bear with me tonight. City clerk's report.
Mr. Mayor, before we do the city clerk's report and leave the city treasurer's report, because I see the treasurer's not here. I don't know why she's not here. But there's some things I think needs to come to the council's attention and needs to come to the attention of the people here in the audience in the city. Our last report from the treasurer was in November. So that means that we didn't get a report for December, no report for January, and we haven't had a report for February either. That's 3 reports, that's basically 1 quarter of a year that we don't have any information as far as where the people's money is going. And I want the people to understand that being $64 million in debt, and with a lot of the issues that we have here in the city of Harvey, the one thing that we all should know is where our money is going. And we don't have answers to those questions. I've asked on several occasions about the treasurer putting her reports under oath, and she has not done so in compliance with state law. She's also written me a letter saying that she does not, that the accounting system that we have is out of date, which the auditors also confirmed that as well, and we hope to be working on that. And the last question that was asked had to do with what's going on with the report last month, and it's the fact that we were changing banks. But the bottom line is, you, the citizens of Harvey, have not received a report for 3 whole months. So when the question comes up with where is the money, where did the money go, how was it spent, I would like for everybody to understand that the council has been waiting for answers to that question, just like you have. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Alderman Clark. I'd just like to add with respect to Treasurer Morningstar, she did indicate that she was waiting to kind of get her correspondence with respect to the comptroller, and also there was a transaction with a new bank. I don't know why she's not here tonight. Certainly, I'm sure that she will certainly do her fiduciary responsibilities in providing this body with the information needed. With respect to the $60 million question, certainly the state comptroller and also another consultant was here. They gave a very detailed analysis and a breakdown of the dollars. With respect to when you look at the state and other municipalities around the country, certainly I thought they gave a well-detailed analysis with respect to some of the issues at hand. In terms of Mrs. Morningstar, we certainly will make sure that she will provide some type of detailed analysis with respect to this.
Okay, Alderman Clark, when I got home, I saw where the treasurer had called me and I didn't bother to answer it. I mean, I didn't look into my voicemail to see what was her, but she had called me. That's all I want to say. And I don't know the reason, you know what I'm saying? I don't know her reason for not being here. I want to make that clear.
We've left meetings, so I'm not gonna sit up here about nobody for not being here. But some fact is, it's 3 months.
Yeah, that's
Without knowing what's happening, but
Mr. Mayor, do you know why there wasn't a report in December?
Again, I can't speak for the treasurer. I think it would only be fair to allow the treasurer to speak for the treasurer. I try not to make it a practice to speak for elected officials. Certainly, they were elected by the people, and so they have to answer that call themselves. But certainly, we will certainly talk with the treasurer and find out what is the status so that we can provide this body with information that's needed.
Do you know, because I know when you change banks or whatever, you get like ending balances and stuff like that? Do you know, as a mayor, do you know what the ending balance is?
Again, as I indicated, certainly that particular question would be one that our comptroller, who's not present, certainly our Mrs. Morningstar, would be able to give you a more detailed analysis with respect to.
So you don't know?
Again,
I'm just
the treasurer and the comptroller. Again, I certainly would not just speak off the top of my head with respect to numbers.
No, just yes or no.
Again, well, my answer is certainly that's the treasurer's responsibility, and certainly that's the comptroller's responsibility. So certainly they are very able, very capable, very proficient to address those particular questions.
so as the CEO of the city, you don't know the financial status of the city, Mr. Mayor?
Again, I'm not going to get into the financials with respect to the comptroller not being here, Mr. Morningstar not being here. If there's a question relative to the finances, that's why we hired a comptroller. In terms of me providing some information that's going to be contrary to Mr. Williams or Mr. Morningstar, certainly I would not entertain that particular question at this particular time because due to the fact that's her job.
Then we'll ask those questions when they get here.
Yes, sir.
But please, if you'll be so kind.
Absolutely.
She can come and you can let the comptroller know that he's more than welcome as well. We got a few questions for him as well.
Well, I think it's very important that there's always dignified dialogue and those individuals that have the responsibility to answer those particular questions. Certainly I could run off some numbers, but again, certainly I don't want to be speaking out of turn with respect to Mr. Williams, which is his certainly his profession and his expertise, and also Mrs. Morningstar, who's elected by the people. Okay. This time we move to the clerk. I was so fired up trying to get to my
Okay, but it'll only take a couple of seconds what I have to say. I just wanted to say good evening, and I appreciate everybody for coming out. And due to, anyway, I would just like to say to the council that I gave you all information that came to me on something that I put on the agenda as far as the letter that I got from the pertaining to the levy. Don't you have it? Okay. Just wanted to know. I have one more thing. I just hope everybody is doing good and everybody is well. And I admonish you to continue to come out and be interested, not only now, but every time we have a meeting, so you guys can really see and get a hold of what's going on. Okay, Walter James Jimmy Kellogg III, beloved brother of Honorable Mayor Eric J. Kellogg, visitation Friday, February 26, 2016, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. I'm offering my condolences to our Mayor, Honorable Mayor Kellogg, on the passing of his brother. And our visitation is going to be Friday from 4 to 8 p.m. at W.W. Hope Funeral Home. And the services is going to be on Saturday, February the 27th, 2016. And that's going to be at St. Mark Missionary Baptist Church, 14618 Lincoln, here in Hardin, Illinois. Flowers may be sent to W.W. Hope Funeral Home. Please keep the family in your prayers. Thank you very much. That answers.
Right. And certainly, before I move on with my PowerPoint, I certainly would just add that when you do a historical analysis, certainly I will get the comptroller and look at the historical analysis of the debt. A lot of the debt certainly predates this administration with respect to the bonds. So again, once we break out all the debts so that you can get a clear picture of the debt, like I'm getting ready to give you an analysis of insurance. So that said,
I know you said that you're gonna find out what the comptroller and the treasurer will get to us and let us know. Do we have to wait? Do we have to wait till the next meeting, city council meeting, to get a report?
I have an open door policy, and Mr. Williams has an open door policy, and certainly the clerk has an open door policy. Certainly the information that you're trying to obtain is always, Mr. Williams is available if there's any questions relative to any concern, questions. I find it quite ironic that when the accountant was here, there were no questions asked, except one or two excused.
2 pages.
But now that they're not here, we certainly want to grant it. But anyway, certainly no.
I didn't know.
Okay. Well, again, there's an open door policy. You can talk with Mr. Williams with respect to any questions regarding any of your concerns.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
point of order, we haven't dealt with number 7 and number 8 on the agenda yet.
I'm telling you, okay, I need approval minutes dated December 14th, 2015, January 11th, 2016, February 8th, 2016. What's the pleasure of the council?
There were some issues with some of the minutes, right? Were they corrected?
What's the motion? Table? All right. Is that the consensus? Now, we move on. Item number 8, approval of bills for payment January 25th and February 8th, 2016. What's the pleasure of the council?
Mr. Mayor, I move to separate the bills.
It's been moved and seconded. On the table, roll call.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again?
It's been
There was
moved
two
and
motions
seconded.
going at the same time, and chair
Moved and
recognized
seconded.
Mr. Price's
Table.
motion.
I just motioned to table bills.
Wow.
For the whole year, you all been tabling bills because no committees are set up. Right?
Committee set up as far as.
continue.
Yeah, the committee was set up.
Okay. Now what we have to do is,
That was two motions going on at the same time.
And I got a second.
We need a roll call.
It's not a roll call on the
Well,
table.
actually,
Alderman Clark
Clark was
had first stated that he motioned to separate the bills. That was his, because on a table, we don't need a motion has to have a second.
No second.
We didn't get a chance for a second.
Because while he was making his motion, Alderman Price started talking.
Okay, we don't need to call the roll on the table.
Yeah, we do need to call a roll on the table. A table has to be passed by a majority vote. And it's a point of order because sometimes we vote on tables and sometimes we don't vote on tables. I took the liberty of looking it up in Robert Rules of Order, in the newly revised edition, and it says specifically that table motions need to have a majority vote. Okay, and we as a body, we need to figure out what it is that we're going to do, because sometimes we don't have any consistency. Either we vote on it, or sometimes we don't vote on it. And the rules say,
I know what the rules say.
that we are, one thing, if you know what the rules say, you know the
I
rules
know
say
what
that
the
we're supposed to
rules
vote on the table.
and I'm done.
Chair recognizes Alderman Price.
To pay a bill, now that you all have went 8, 9 months complaining about everything being sent to the Finance Committee for transparency, now it's some type of rush to pay bills, and we haven't paid bills in 8 months because you all said committees, it needs to go to the committee. It needs to go to the Finance Committee. It needs to, everything you all have denied, you all have said, it needs to go to committee. Now all of a sudden, the same people that say they want everything to go to committee, well, I can't say all, but people that said they wanted things to go to committee and wanted transparency for the public, for the last 2 meetings have been trying to push some type of bills through. So pay attention to that, public. These are the same people that say and been complaining about committees for 8 months. To my knowledge, I haven't got an order that particular case was over with yet, that you all filed. I haven't been notified that case is over, so it's still in litigation. So my whole point of this is, let's keep it consistent. Either you all want transparency, or you want to just pay the people that you want to pay.
May I?
Please.
Mr. Mayor? In the past 6 months, we have been separating the water bill versus the regular bill. There was a motion on call to separate the bills. On this bill list, correct, there is a lot of bills, but it is also the water bill. Have we not been approving the water bill?
You all have separated the water bill one time. Before
No,
that,
actually, the last 3 times.
Before that, well, maybe I missed it.
Yeah, but, excuse me, but I am
The water bill
speaking.
is mandatory by court order.
But I am speaking. If we all
I'm asking a
heard,
question, though.
if we all heard what Alderman Clark asked was to separate the bills. That's all I have to say on that.
He never
Thank you,
stated
Mr.
what
Mayor.
bills.
Well, because before I got a chance, we started all of this, circus activity.
It's not a circus act.
Bottom line
It's
is,
a table motion.
bottom line is, you're right. You're right. We have had committee meetings. And in those committee meetings, we have had the opportunity to review our bills. And you were invited to that committee meeting, and all the aldermen were invited to the committee meeting, and the mayor was invited, and so was the comptroller. Now, just because you chose not to show, doesn't mean you should sit up here and complain about the fact that we decided we want to separate some bills out because it had the proper review and transparency. And there were people who are in the audience that were at those meetings to witness those meetings and saw the transparency and how we established those rules. So now that we move to pay those bills that had proper review, those bills should be paid. And our vendors should know that if those bills have proper review, that those bills should be paid. So it's not like we're doing something out of the ordinary. What we're trying to do is offer the people what we said from the beginning: transparency, oversight, and accountability. And that's exactly what we did. There was a motion on the table. We still got to take up the issue as far as this table is concerned, because the simple fact is, I will appeal the chair's order as far as the chair's decision as far as that's concerned, because table motions are supposed to be voted on.
Mayor,
At this time, yes.
since he was, I waited for him to finish everything he had to say.
Yes, sir.
Without going back and forth. Yeah, you had committee meetings. But I thought that was in litigation. Is it in litigation or not? Is it in litigation or not?
What does that have to do with anything?
How are we acting? You're the attorney.
Yes,
Why would
exactly.
we be
So
acting
why don't
on-
you just
why
listen to
would
what
we
I'm
be
telling you, man, if
acting-
you say
I
I'm
don't
the
have to
attorney.
listen to
Well,
what
then if
you've
that's the
shown.
case, you
I
asked me
never
a
cut you
question.
off once, Chris.
You asked me a question.
I never cut you off once.
Go ahead.
But you have shown the people that you all have made mistakes on multiple occasions since starting this whole committee thing. If the committees are in litigation, what committee are y'all acting on if we're waiting on a judge to decide if you all overrode the veto properly or not? What committees are y'all acting on? So that's what I'm asking the public. What committees are they acting on? He's the attorney. Who constantly addresses things that's in litigation? Who addresses things that's in litigation? It's in litigation. This issue is in litigation. All I ask is that we wait for the judge's decision. If they're right, they're gonna be right. If the mayor's veto was right, it's gonna be right. But they decided to take it to court. And they also decided, meeting after meeting, that they wanted to send everything to committees. And now all of a sudden, there's some type of rush to pay some type of bills. Well, the bills need to be paid every month, ma'am. Exactly. And they've put it on hold for 8 months. But they're not saying, let's go back 8 months and review all the bills.
Excuse me. I'm going to ask the residents in the audience if you could refrain from talking while the aldermen are engaged in their conversations. But again, certainly there has been some dialogue relative to the legality of the committee meetings. And so at this point, I believe that the bills were tabled. I mean, certainly we can add some additional conversation relative to if the meetings were legal or if they were illegal, or we can continue to expound on that. But at this point, the bills are tabled, so we can move forward.
Mr. Mayor, I once again, I appeal that decision and would like that appeal called for a vote.
With all due respect, excuse me, with all due respect, the bill will be tabled, and we'll move forward.
Well, there's another point of order. According to the Robert's Rules of Order, Alderman Clark was speaking first. He had the floor before Alderman Price opened his mouth.
Unfortunately, I'm the chair, you're not. Unfortunately, Mr. Alderman Brown, I'm the chair, and I'll recognize those individuals that are scheduled to speak. That's the job of the chair under Robert's Rule of Order. And again, the chair had recognized Alderman Price. And so at this point, the bill was tabled. Excuse me. The bill was tabled. The chair recognizes Alderman Winter.
As you well know, I've been here for 12 years. We have a government that you just now noticed that it's not working properly under Robert's rules. That's the only way we can do it. We have to follow the rules and then deal with the outcome. May it be for the favor of those who don't agree with you or those that do. If we throw these rules out of here, out of Harvey, we've lost our government. The basic stand that we have here is that you have 2 aldermen that's new, and you have 2 seasoned aldermen that's here. They have a common bond about the majority. Majority wants to try to change and make everything transparent and accountability. Not just for me, it's for all of us. When there's a question about what was in court, that was a question about it, you not letting the majority get involved in the committees. The city's not run by 1 person or 2. It's run by a legislator and administrator. But the state is still recognizing that we are a body, that we can continue to meet and discuss new procedures on how to make what we saw in the audits of 9 to 13, that they recommended that we change some of our procedures. You want to solve all the questions about where's the $64 million Who has the right to tell the water city of Chicago to, we'll settle that? Who has the right to take our money and run away with a hotel? Who has the right to take Jawa and we don't know nothing about that money? I mean, ladies and gentlemen, what am I supposed to do? To sit here and argue on rights? If we're gonna pay the bills, let's get out of the situation. We got some history here in the city. Long history, predate mayor. But yet, under his leadership, it's here. Our orders started, the ones that we received was 9 to 13. I'm anxious to see the other ones. But still, we're asking the question about what was legal. If you came to the meetings, you could see all we did was set up procedures and make sure that invoices matches the requisition form, so that they would actually not have no problems like not having invoices with the regular bill. They were thoroughly looked over and submitted. We have, since April of 2015, we've been haggling over nothing. The court's going to decide, and we will prevail. But right now, this actually vote that we're doing right now is unconstitutional. There's a vote that's on the floor to count. You gotta need to call that. I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor.
Let me just
you cannot.
Are you done, sir? Can I
No,
add?
just I'll be through in a minute.
Yes, sir.
Give me a minute.
Yes, sir.
The chair has the right to set up this agenda, but it has not to stop the government from functioning under Robert's rules. It is government, whatever it is government.
No, I just said stop.
I mean, whatever it is what government we got. It may not be the best one that we got, but it is ours. And I take ownership of Harvey. This is ours. And believe that. Believe that. This is our government. And this is by these little people in this room here. They have a say-so of everything. How their water bill has been spent, how this garbage being spent, how you can get your alleys done, you have a say-so. And you can stay in each one of our butts to make sure that we get it done. Well, just gotta keep on getting on that. But Mr. Mayor, I'll close.
Yeah.
This is our right to have a Robert's rules to vote on this issue. There was a vote by Mr. Price, Mr. Nesbitt, and then there was a vote here.
Let me just.
Your motion.
Yeah. Let me just add.
Roll.
Excuse me, Alderman Winston.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. I'd just like to add that one of our defining characteristics, or one of the defining characteristics of transformational leadership, is the ability to work both sides of the aisle and bring both individuals together to see the common goals. And when you look at, I think our focus should be on not what divides us, but what we have in common. With respect to your 12 years sitting as an alderman, certainly you had to see agendas, and the agenda is set up based on the premise of Robert's Rules of Order. Now, when one gets in and wants to pick and choose what Robert's Rules of Order that they want to follow to be consistent with a particular faction, that's where we begin to have issues. However, I'd just like to say that Chair has a rule, and the bills will be taken, and we can move on. Certainly, civil discourse is always, I think, the best way. Communication, cooperation is always the best way. But certainly, we do have an agenda tonight, and you know, it kind of, you know, just behooves me to ask the question, you know, after 8 months, why? What's the urgency? And so With that said, certainly I would like to move this agenda on and address some of the more pertinent issues that's relevant to tonight's agenda.
I know you're still trying to get to your report, Mr. Mayor, but I have something that I want to read into the record.
Yes, sir.
Specifically from Robert Rules of Order, newly revised 10th edition. For those that can see it, it says, for the record, since the motion to lay on the table can be applied only to a question that is actually pending, a class or group of main questions such as orders of the day, unfinished business, or committee reports cannot be laid on the table as a unit. An item of business can be reached in such case, however, by methods that are explained. 1, is it out of order when another has the floor? 2, it must be seconded. 3, it is not debatable. 4, it is not amendable. 5, requires a majority vote. Okay, so that's read to you out of Robert Rules of Order, newly revised 10th edition. And I want that for the record, because I believe that we are out of order here. Also,
We're not out of.
Also, in regards to the question of whether this is litigation, and seeing that I am the attorney, and I do litigation all the time, there's not a situation that I know of.
Excuse me, Alderman Whittington.
Alderman Clark has the floor.
Alderman Whittington, excuse me.
Alderman Clark has the floor.
Like I was saying, so when you have something in litigation, it does not mean that you can't do other things pertaining to that litigation. Now, what has happened recently is, yes, I did call a meeting for the Finance Committee on January 20th, and that's something I believe that we had a legal right to do, and that it was not a violation of the Open Meetings Act. Of course, as usual, sometimes we don't disagree. So the mayor did not agree in this particular case, and so he wrote a letter that states in part, please be advised that Christopher Clark, Alderman of the 3rd Ward, has attempted to call for an illegal Finance Committee meeting on January 20, 2016 at 6:00 p.m. Alderman Clark indicates that this illegal meeting will be held at the Harvey Park District. And then it goes on to ask the Park District questions about the Park District Commissioners. But on the other hand, on February 10th, after that, a letter or something of that sort was sent to the Attorney General's office, the Attorney General's office of the state of Illinois responded that your letter alleges that a city of Harvey alderman attempted to call a finance meeting on January 20th, 2016 without authority to do so. Our review of the information you have furnished, however, provides insufficient basis for the Public Access Council to conclude that an OMA or open meetings violation has occurred. It also goes on to say that for the reasons set forth, this office has determined that no further action is warranted in this matter. If you have questions about this letter, contact the Public Access Counselor, Sarah Pratt. This letter serves to close this matter. So basically what happened is, the mayor wrote a letter saying that I was doing something wrong. And the Illinois Attorney General came back and said that there wasn't a basis for it. So where all of those people have questions as far as what's going on, we have a right to meet. The only thing that we have to do is if we meet, if it's 3 of us, we have to give you notice so that you can know. Because it's transparency, oversight, and accountability. And so we posted the proper notices. And once again, several people in this audience came to that meeting. So we will call more finance meetings. We're scheduling a finance meeting for this Thursday. But the simple fact is, there was nothing done wrong. And the fact that it's going on in litigation does not mean that we cannot continue to do the issue. Because if that were the case, we also have in litigation the question of whether we have a proper police chief. We also have a question in litigation of whether we have proper corporation counsel, comptroller, the zoning and planning director, the fire chief, those things are in question as well. But we still have those. We still have them. And they don't stop working, and we haven't stopped them from working, and the courts has not stopped them from working. So the bottom line is, if we have to stop what we're doing, then the mayor and his administration should have to stop what they're doing. And it looks like no one has stopped.
Let me just say this, Alderman, with all due respect to your conversation, with respect to opinions rendered by attorneys, opinions rendered by judges, there's always various sides to various opinions. With respect to the Attorney General, certainly we received very favorable opinions from the Attorney General when Alderman Clark, Alderman Lewinsky, Alderman Brown, and Alderman Winnington had sent documentation relative to the Attorney General. And so with all due respect, certainly there were some questions regarding, with the City of Harvey being the principal building, a question, why are we using another entity to hold our meetings? But more importantly,
doors, Mr. Mayor.
but more
You
importantly,
locked the doors.
while you talking, I gave you your respect. And okay, while you talking, I gave you respect. So I'm asking for the same. So again, I think that with respect to the principal building is the City Hall, and that's historically where all the committee meetings have been held. Certainly, there's some concern relative to the committees being in litigation. And so, certainly, if in fact, I'm not going to defy, a judge's order while there's litigation, certainly we want to see it play out, because there's certain rules and ethics that have to be abided by with respect to all of us sitting in these particular elected official positions. There was some concern regarding a Park District Commissioner regarding the facility, but I mean, we don't need to get into all of that, because again, that's more negative follow. But certainly, with all due respect, I think I gave you an adequate rebuttal, and I'm going to move on. But Chair recognizes Alderman Price.
Residents, I never questioned if it was a violation of the Open Meetings Act. That wasn't my question. Attorneys get paid to turn words around. That's his profession. I'm a straight shooter. Was it posted? It was posted. But my question was, how can they have a finance committee meeting when the mayor vetoed their original motion and they took it to court? So who are they to say that that finance committee is the proper finance committee? Or is it the one that the mayor originally put in place? I didn't bother to try to call any finance committee meetings because it was in litigation. So, I mean, I understand, yeah, it wasn't a violation of the Open Meetings Act because it was posted. But whose finance committee are they going by when they decided to take it into litigation? It's just that simple.
We took it into litigation.
But it's in litigation.
No, it was taken into litigation because our civil rights was denied.
Well, again, that's your opinion.
No,
that's your opinion.
No,
that's your opinion.
That's your opinion. It's not an opinion, it's a fact.
That's your opinion.
I'm gonna just say it like this.
That's your opinion.
I'm gonna say it that your statement does not, as the letter from Lisa Madigan states.
I agree with
we
that.
can meet. We don't sit for 9 months and not talk.
Read the whole letter.
We don't sit for 9 months and not
Put it
talk.
on the record for the people, man. Read the whole letter. Transparency.
Read the whole letter.
Can talk.
The Honorable Eric J. Kellogg, Mayor, City of Harvey, 15320 Broadway Avenue, Harvey, Illinois, 60426, regarding OLA request for review 2016 PAC 39991. Dear Mayor Kellogg, on February 3, 2016, Public Access Bureau received your correspondence dated January 19, 2016, directed to Attorney General Madigan. Your letter alleges that the City of Harvey Alderman attempted to call a finance meeting on January 20th, 2016 without authority to do so. Our review of the information you have furnished, however, provides an insufficient basis for the Public Access Council to conclude that an OMA violation has occurred.
Pardon me?
Right.
You said, what was that last part you said?
Let them know what that is. sir.
Our review of the information, you asked me to read into the record.
Go ahead.
Now, let's get this straight, because you're about to give your presentation. And I know you put up like 4, 5, 6 letters, and you pick out one sentence out of the whole thing.
But if you read it in the
But
record,
we want transparency,
you're gonna read it to the
and
record.
that's why
Read
I'm
it to the
reading.
record,
No, we want transparency, that's why I'm
Please,
reading.
bring the whole
And if
thing.
anybody wants a copy, you're more than welcome to a copy as well.
Right.
Section 3.5.
No, you just.
No, I'm reading the whole
Okay,
thing.
thank you. Let the record reflect Alderman Clark is reading,
I know you're trying to confuse it. Section 3.5A of the Open Meetings Act, OMA, 5 ILCS 123.5A West 214, as amended by Public Act 99-402, effective August 19, 2015, provides, a person who believes that a violation of this act by a public body has occurred may file a request for review with the Public Access Counselor established in the Office of the Attorney General not later than 60 days after the alleged violation. The request for review must be in writing, must be signed by the requester, and must include a summary of the facts supporting the allegation, emphasis added. Assuming that your correspondence was meant to be a request for review, your complaint was premature because the committee meeting that you are alleging was illegally scheduled had not yet occurred at the time of your complaint. Further, the Public Access Counselor's authority to resolve disputes is limited to alleged violation of OMA and the Freedom of Information Act, 5 ILCS 140/1 and sequential.
That's all. That's all.
Are we going to have annotations on the side, or y'all going to let me read it to the record?
The point is made now.
See, the purpose of the OMA is to ensure the public has advance notice of and the right to attend all meetings at which a public body discusses or acts upon any business. The authority to call the meeting is not governed by OMA, therefore is not subject to review by the Public Access Bureau. You may wish to consult with legal counsel for the city about the requirements set forth in the city's governing documents and the Illinois Municipal Code. If a committee meeting was held on January 20, 2016 that you believe violated OMA because sufficient advance notice was not provided to the public, or because the meeting was held at a location not open and convenient to the public, you may file a request for review by including a summary of facts supporting those allegations. For the reasons set forth above, this office has determined that no further action is warranted in this matter. If you have questions about this letter, OMA, or the Public Access Bureau, you may contact me or Sarah Pratt, Public Access Counselor, at 1-877-299-3642. This letter serves to close this matter. Very truly yours, Joshua M. Jones, Supervising Attorney, Public Access Bureau. Now, the question that I would, and that concludes the letter. Now, the question that I would ask is that I read the entire letter. Read your entire letter to them. Let them know what you wrote. Show them what you wrote.
Certainly, I mean, I have no problem with.
Because I don't have any problem with
I have
transparency.
no problem.
Everything
I have
do is
no
not
problem. I have no problem.
So bring the letter.
Doing my
Open knowledge.
Well, let me just say that certainly we're all aware of what an open meetings violation is. When you have 4 aldermen meeting at a particular alderman's office and it's on camera. I'm speaking hypothetically. I'm speaking hypothetically that could one day be validated and substantiated with facts. So anyway, you got 4 aldermen meeting at a particular alderman's office, and it's documented by camera. That's a clear violation of the Open Meetings Act.
Yeah, bring it up.
And certainly, that's clear. That's clear.
Don't talk about it, be about it.
That's clear. That's
Are we
clear.
alleging or are we?
I'll have it for the next meeting.
Would you please?
Yes, certainly.
I was present.
Thank you. No, thank you.
Okay.
And show us what we're meeting about. And show us what we're meeting about.
So again, with that said,
You sound like a government
we'll move on.
that's of the third, fourth world. when you walking around sneaking up on aldermen and trying to look in their lives, look in their house.
Wait a minute, wait. Are we talking about taping people?
No,
Are you talking about somebody taping someone now?
you helped move it, and now you don't want to move it. I don't know what you want.
I'm just not gonna be a part of not passing
I
taxes.
don't know what you want, brother.
Certainly, I indicated it was, that was a
It's hard to impress somebody that don't want it.
I got some hypotheticals.
I think that was a hypothetical situation. At this point, we're gonna move on to,
They're just
Martin
stopping
Ford.
government.
Move on.
The people who have not voted for anything has
We
nothing
can move this city in one day.
government.
Move it in one day. Problems with some.
See by the ground. The meeting gonna be over.
Good. Hey, who that? There you go. First of all, I got this. Hey, don't, I wouldn't even address him like this, you know, because he's out of control. I think he has a little brother right here. He's gonna stand on top of him. Right. Again, at the special meeting, there were some concerns relative to the broker record. And so what I did, I went back and did an analysis so that we can kind of talk about the history of Cliff Taylor, SPVG. Certainly, as you can see, his served the city of Harvey for over 20 years and provided exceptional service. Certainly saved the city millions of dollars. The question was raised at the last meeting, how did this relationship start? Certainly, it started in 1994, became an insurance broker in 1994 under the David Johnson administration. It was transitioned to American Healthcare providers through Humana. The city had to switch carriers due to the following. American Healthcare providers continually had excessively high renewals. American Healthcare providers did not have a network or plan to cover the city's out-of-state retirees, which meant the city was paying for all medical claims incurred by the retirees. Those are some of the major bullets with respect to the analysis. When you look at Cliff Taylor worked at the city's insurance, just give you some background regarding Cliff Taylor. Worked at the city's insurance and 911 administrator, built a relationship with SPVG. He worked in conjunction with them to seek carriers to find the city and the best possible coverage. One of the points that stick out, he saved the city over $200,000 as well, provided the necessary coverage for the city's out-of-state retirees. Certainly we're thankful for Cliff Taylor. In his role, he served as the liaison between the city and SPVG and intimately involved in the process to switch carriers because American Healthcare providers was found to be in violation of rules set by the Department of Insurance. And so certainly, we certainly thank Cliff for his due diligence. This next slide, in 1995, Cliff Taylor left the city of Harvey, and in 1996 began working for SPVG as a broker and the business administrator. Due to the quality service he provided, he remained a broker for the city of Harvey. When I was elected in 2003, they were the brokers. Upon assessing the state of the city, I requested a 6-year overview of the cost of services being provided by our insurance carrier for Mr. Taylor. And again, this is, as you can see, the summary of city and health plan savings. That's just an analysis. And certainly thank Mr. Taylor for that outstanding analysis. I will certainly provide counsel with this overview with respect to this analysis. In addition to receiving a 6-year analysis, I also obtained a copy of the letter of recommendation from Humana. Certainly depicts the quality of service the city will be receiving from SPVG. Certainly, the It talks about, has been a long-standing, excellent business relationship with small business benefits in Taylor, Illinois. For many years, during our relationship, small business benefits has achieved Leaders Club status. So again, certainly when you have a company that's doing exceptionally well and being recognized, you certainly want to try to continue down that road. This is just doing, again, some analysis with respect to the industry. While the industry as a whole was experiencing higher premiums and low benefits, and renewal were below market trends. And that's what we're kind of talking about in the committee as a whole. We talked about the trend, and employees continually receive exceptional benefits. It was determined that Cliff Taylor and SPG was doing a great job, and they remain in their capacity as a broker and benefits administrator. This speaks to Mr. Taylor is continuing to provide proactive and find exceptional coverage for our employees at a lower rate. In 2007, he recommended that we switch carriers. He's the insurance specialist, so with all due respect, we certainly want to follow his lead. The city released humanity decided to utilize the services of Blue Cross Blue Shield. This transition resulted in savings of over $300,000. Due to several ongoing inconsistencies regarding the city's general liability and workers' compensation insurance program, which includes but not limited to the following: last-minute renewals, no risk management, even though the city was being charged, inconsistencies with claims data, lack of trust. In 2008, the city decided to allow Cliff Taylor and SPG to become the city's risk managers. Quality of service received by the city and Cliff Taylor's experience in risk management made this decision unquestioned. After becoming the city's risk manager, SPG partnered with Stephen Marcos, Senior VP of Hub International Midwest, which is the second largest casualty broker in the country. When you have an opportunity to partner with the second largest broker in the country, I think that speaks volume. And so this partnership has been beneficial for the city because Hub's resources and leverage in the marketplace has assisted the city during very rough times. So again, this is just some of the improvements to insurance in 2008. Improved and streamlined process on department meetings with our department heads, created safety policies, created sexual misconduct policies, made improvement on time reporting of work-related injuries. And so certainly this is the type of professionalism that you would expect out of your insurance carrier. During the first 4 years, Cliff Taylor and his team became the risk managers and represented liability in the workers' comp program. The claims were reduced. Risk management services were being provided on a daily basis. And the average renewal increased only by 3.3%, which is significantly lower than that, which with respect to the trends average. Again, this as of 2014, Hub International is the second largest independent property casualty agency by revenue. The report below was provided by the Insurance Journal, so you can check. Again, I'm just happy to have that relationship with Mr. Marcos to come and assist this great city. The letter to writers from AIG, American Insurance Group, provides the results from an assessment the company conducted, which states the safety policy, employee training, and incident investigation and facility safety management reflect good risk and safety management practices. These are the technical practices and processes that must be implemented to ensure that the city is getting the best coverage available. The attached letter is from a third party, claims adjuster, stating how SPG, their work ethic, working relationship, and timeliness, which providing claims information has been exemplary. So again, this documentation show just an outstanding job that Cliff and Mr. Marcos have been doing. 2013, change the health insurance carriers to Blue Cross Blue Shield to United Healthcare. Not only was the benefits improved, but employees had more choices at the time when benefits were being reduced dramatically. The change also produced a savings of almost $300,000. Since that change, Cliff Taylor and SPG has been able to reduce renewal rates that average below the market trend for renewals. again, the average renewal of the last 3 renewal periods has been only 1.6%. 3-year overview and recommendations. Again, certainly this is just an overview and recommendations. We certainly will be providing this to the council so that they can see just an outstanding job in terms of making sure that the city is being properly represented, and more importantly, the coverage. As Cliff indicated earlier, he's a Harvey native. He certainly has a vast knowledge of public service. He understands the importance of community service and positively impact the lives of our youth. He certainly has mentored, coached, provided gifts and clothes during the holidays, and assisted teens going to college through his Gloria Taylor Foundation, which his mom was the former park president and also alderwoman of the 3rd Ward. Again, this is just a little documentation, some artifacts relative to some of the great things that he has done with respect to his foundation. Thornton High School Nursery. He's involved in assisting the nursery every year, Low School, book bags, AAU basketball and mentoring program. Every player got accepted to the college, with most being accepted as student athletes. So again, I just think that's just a tremendous honor. And then this slide just basically kind of talks about, you know, his professionalism, the savings, great things he's done over the years. Certainly, it's my hope that Mr. Taylor and Ms. Marple will be renewed with respect to all the great things they have done for the city. As you say, I indicated they have negotiated with various carriers on the city's behalf year after year. And they're the reason that they have been the broker of choice for Harvard for over 20 years. And I think that speaks volumes when you have former Mayor Graves, former Mayor Johnson, and myself. They've worked under all 3 mayors. And so certainly they have honed their particular expertise, their talents, their relationships to get the job done. And when you have individuals who are high in integrity, high in performance, but more importantly are dedicated and committed to making sure that the bottom line is results, we certainly have to consider moving forward with that particular trend. This is a letter that I received February 18th, 2016. As I indicated at the last meeting, that there is some legislation with respect to State Representative DeLuca regarding the tax levy. But this is from David Hoyer's office. It says, after consulting with our legal counsel, we believe it's possible to extend the 2015 property taxes to the city of Harvard. If a valid tax levy is legally passed by the city council, signed, due and filed with the county's clerk's office no later than May 1st, 2016. Any property tax revenue generated from valid levy will be distributed to the city of Harvard following collection of 2015 second installment property tax bills. Again, this is the first time that this has happened. We certainly still have time to vote on it, but more importantly, there's some legislation out there with respect to State Representative DeLuca. Certainly, we will have some dialogue with the legislative branch and the executive branch of government to see if in fact we can come together and discuss the deadline to ensure that the tax levy, it is passed. So I certainly want to just certainly thank David Hoyer's office and certainly others who are working on behalf of the city to ensure that the tax levy is passed. So certainly I will be reaching out to the aldermen so that we can engage in some civilized conversations to try to move the city forward. The conversation tonight has kind of stemmed around a series of things that has taken place. And with respect to the item on the agenda. Now, this is just a memorandum of missive regarding some concerns that I felt that was certainly need to be addressed. And it just says, please be advised that I'm submitting this missive out of concern and to raise ethical questions relative to the Committee of the Whole meeting February 16, 2016. The meeting was properly posted. All parties were notified. The agenda was set and displayed publicly for more than 48 hours. Quorum was present and the meeting called to order at 5:31 p.m. My first concern pertains to Alderman Clark submitting a prepared RFP or template for insurance services towards the conclusion of the meeting. This was done without, I felt, the proper procedures and thus an illegal and invalid act. The agenda for this meeting was GL Workers' Compensation Insurance Plan renewal. There was no other matter which I felt should have been on the agenda. It said this agenda for this meeting was GL Workers' Compensation Insurance renewal. No other matter could or should be discussed without amending the agenda. Alderman Clark, Winnington, Gruinski, and Brown attempted to support the RFP that was submitted erroneously by voting in favor of that particular legislation. This raises other ethical concerns as well as not only was the agenda not amended to have it discussed by the body legally when apprised of the illegality of the action the clerk refused to call the roll. Alderman Clark subsequently called the roll himself. He recorded the votes and recommended it go before the full council. Clearly not in his authority to do so, with the clerk being in attendance. The entire council was not privy to this RFP. Alderman Price and Alderman Nesbitt had left the meeting. Only the aforementioned aldermen were in attendance. I asked at the onset of the meeting if any other insurance agents, brokers, or their affiliates or representatives were present. During the meeting, I noticed a known associate and a business partner of a competitor of our current brokers in the audience. Although he didn't acknowledge my initial request, he got my attention when he was taking very copious notes of Mr. Taylor and his partner. Furthermore, I went on record after noticing this gentleman that someone was trying to bring another insurance company or their person in, and I made a, for the record, and this person that was in attendance had the ability to hear the presentation, and certainly somewhere down the road, with the bid process, if it's a bid process, certainly this would, certainly be unfair. The RFP was presented soon thereafter, and the attorney was questioned regarding the legality of Alderman Clark's action, informed him that he couldn't do it. Alderman Clark called the roll. He had Alderman Lewinsky, Winnington, and Brown vote on it. Certainly, if you're talking about Robert's Rules of Order, following Robert's Rules of Order, being consistent with respect to Robert's Rules of Order, the clerk was in attendance, and certainly that is the job of the clerk to call the roll. Again, it's, I just thought that it was blatant disregard for following proper protocols, procedures with respect to this Robert's Rule of Order. It kind of, again, behooves me that we talk about Robert's Rules of Order, but we selectively want to utilize Robert's Rules of Order when it benefits us. But if you're not going to be consistent with Robert's Rules of Order, then we certainly shouldn't say anything or try to do something that's contrary to what is really in the best interest of city government and the process associated with it. This time we move to the police department and let them give an update regarding the police department.
Good evening. I just want to share with you just a real snapshot of some very few cases that our detective division has been involved with closing out over the last couple of weeks. As a matter of fact, To be honest with you, I actually cut it short. So we had a very, very, very successful past 2 weeks. In my eyes, one of the best I've seen in a long time. But this gentleman here was arrested and charged with the burglary of the Cedar Building. Since he's charged, I'll give you some details. I told you before that we had sent our entire division to CSI classes where they are trained as crime scene investigators. This individual actually left the scene, but our CSI detective was able to find a blood trail that he left. His blood was sent to the lab and the DNA hit came back. So that's how he was arrested and charged. This individual, this case here just made local news. This individual was a behavioral counselor at Ingles Wyoming Gordon facility, where this facility partners with DCFS. Unprovoked, he basically put a juvenile male in a chokehold for about 18 to 25 seconds, and I learned that he was relieved of his duties from Ingles, but he was also charged with aggravated battery by strangulation from my division. This man here, Gabriel, it says it all. This man was basically charged with predatory or criminal sexual assault, and due to his victim being 10 years old, I can't go too much farther into it, but his bond was set at $7,500,000. $750,000, I'm sorry. This individual was another case that made local news. I believe his bond was set at $2 million. He was left in the care of a child, once again by the child being a minor. I can't go into too many details, but this child ended up receiving second and third degree burns, and it was said that he was trying to bath the child. But once again, he was charged and he received a $2 million bond. I believe that's it.
Certainly, I want to thank Chief Dees, Deputy Chief Thomas, Deputy Chief Neal, Deputy Chief Patterson, Deputy Chief Banks for their leadership. Again, I think Chief need to talk about the crime statistics. We always want to throw them out there.
Yeah, fortunate crime is wonderful. It's down, not as wonderful, it's down. The last 21 years, crime is down 18% this year, which is the greatest decline in crime in the past 21 years. Homicide rate is down, and cases are being solved. These were a couple of horrendous cases that investigative work was on. We have a few more that we're about to solve, that we'll be informing you about. But again, as I always say, we have some really great citizens in town that are really being cooperative and helping us with this, and without the citizen support, we couldn't have gotten it done. So I just feel, again, every time I'm going to keep thanking the citizens for assisting us. And that is very reflective in how our guys are solving crimes, plus the fact that they are training that they've received, you know, at the CSI, Chicago detectives, training with the Chicago detectives and graduating from that course. So, and we're providing training to every officer annually. Every single officer in the department receives training. So I just want to thank the citizens, thank the mayor for his support, all of my fellow board members, and I'm trying to look at the work. We get some more exciting things coming.
Specific numbers, and once again, you can go to the Illinois State Police website to verify this. Harvey has had a 31% increase in arrests and closures. So more people are going to jail for crimes they commit. And usually, I always say this is something I noticed as a pattern. Harvey citizens rarely commit very violent crimes against Harvey citizens. Oftentimes what we see in our real violent crimes, and there are some exceptions, that usually it's either our suspects are Harvey citizens versus outsiders, or outsiders versus Harvey citizens. So we've had some success. Like I said, we've had a 31% increase in closures, which has led to a 17% increase in our violent crime index. These numbers are reflected on the Illinois State Police website. By all means, please. Decrease, I'm sorry. I'm dealing with a cold, please forgive me. But it's a 17% decrease in the violent crime index, and please verify those numbers.
Yes, certainly, I do want to just acknowledge Deputy Chief Thomas. I told him before he came to the city council meeting, shouldn't take NyQuil. but again, I think the Harvey Police are doing just a phenomenal job, and I just certainly want to just thank Casey Nesbitt, who serves on the Zoning and Planning Board, for her due diligence. She's also a member of Delta Sigma Theta, for her to sponsor the Harvey Easter Egg Hunt. It's going to be Saturday, March 26, 2016. It's going to be at the Harvey Community Center. It's just a tremendous opportunity for our kids, ages 1 to 9, from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock, to be involved in a safe, well-structured Harvey Easter Egg Hunt. And it takes me back 100 years when we used to participate in Harvey Easter Egg hunts throughout the city of Harvey. So it's just to see this coming back, and I certainly want to thank Commissioner Nesbitt for her due diligence and her foresight, and then her commitment to make this happen. Yeah, this is Ms. Rufus.
Within the past couple of weeks, the planning department has been having a lot of properties transferred over there. A lot of people buying property in the city of Harvey, and a lot of times, just city employees overall get a bad rep. And we just want to thank Ms. Alexander for acknowledging the staff in the planning department, just for helping her out and explaining the packet in detail to assist them in the purchase of the property and making her experience very pleasurable in the city of Harvey.
That certainly will conclude my report. I do want to apologize. I'm not as on my game as I should be. But when you lose your older brother, who's like your dad, it kind of throws you off. But I don't believe in making excuses. Certainly, I want to take this opportunity to also say that I lost cameraman Mr. Bishop, his dad, who also was like a dad to me. We certainly want to just give our condolences to the Bishop family. Mr. and Mrs. Bishop are just icons in the community. Done some just phenomenal things in terms of raising their children, doing some outstanding things. And so I believe the funeral is this Saturday at Bethlehem Temple, 10/11, 11/12. And certainly we want you to know that the city of Harvey, you're in our prayers. We love your dad, we love your family, we love your mom, and certainly we carry you right in our hearts. As we move on, I know it's going to be some time tonight where you might see me get out of body. Target to my head, not my heart, because certain people handle certain things differently. I don't make no excuses for great loss of my family, but I'm here tonight. Now I'm taking on all questions, all whatever y'all want to come with. I'm here y'all can bring what you got. And certainly I'm gonna give you what I got. So with that said, we'll move on. Yes. Oh yes, Mr. Howard.
Yeah. Mr. Mayor, on behalf of the city of Harvey and the employees, and I'm sure that y'all know what's planned. And I know at the beginning of the meeting, you guys got right into your business, but my experience is saying protocol in any city when the mayor or the city council loses a member of the family, protocol at the top of the meeting is to acknowledge condolences. So from the employees, we extend our condolences to the entire Kellogg family, and just wanted that to be on record.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Excuse me, may I add something, Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
And I would also like a moment of silence for your family and for Mr. Bishop.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you all. This time we move to just give me 1 minute for all the measures. Yes, ma'am.
I wanted to say one thing that, this evening was the great work that's being done by the Public Works Department. In the last 4 weeks, the mayor has changed some of our protocol procedures in relationship to how we handle our task force and our loss and prevention and asset control in regards to cleaning up and removing blight from our community. And I know a lot of times, Mr. Fisher, we don't, even as counterparts, we don't always give each other credit because we're always out there working together. But this Saturday, there was a young lady who posted a abandoned house that the boards had come off on Facebook. As soon as I got the text, I contacted Johnny, and he came out the same day and boarded up that house. So I just wanted to acknowledge that your staff does work. Administrators, we don't get paid overtime, so we do work on weekends and holidays and any other day as needed. And we will continue to clean up the city as best as we can with the employees that we have. And
It's time to move to ordinance 3335. You had that put on the agenda. You had that added to again, just an ordinance of the City of Harvey levying taxes in the City of Harvey, Cook County, Illinois, for the fiscal year beginning May 1st, 2015, and April 30th, 2016 service. Just put it on there for discussion at a later date. Unless the aldermen decide if they want to suspend the rules and vote on it tonight. If not, we just
Motion to table.
all right. Resolution 2791, a resolution of the city concerning an application for a special use permit to allow the expansion of an existing religious facility by the construction of a new building on the property commonly known as 14700 Myrtle Avenue, Light of Islam. This is the first reading. What's the pleasure of the council?
Motion to send it to committee?
Second.
Excuse me. Who motioned that? I'm sorry. Okay, I got it. Alderwoman Dewinski?
Yes.
Alderman Whittington?
Aye.
Alderman Clark?
Aye.
Alderman Brown?
Aye.
Alderman Nesbitt?
No.
Alderman Price?
Yes, upon judges, for the record, upon the judge's decision on committee.
Okay. Motion carried to table. I mean, what did
Committee.
Sent to committee.
Resolution 2792, a resolution of the City of Harvard authorizing property casualty brokers of record to extend for renewed coverage on request for proposals for insurance brokerage services.
Motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
Alderwoman Dewinski?
Yes.
Alderman Whittington?
Aye.
Alderman Clark?
Aye.
Alderman Brown?
Aye.
Alderman Nesbitt?
Aye. Suspend the rules, mate.
Suspend the rule, yes. Alderman Price? Suspend the rule.
And this says contingent on request of proposals. So are there other requests for proposals? But we're suspending, that's what I'm saying, we're suspending the rules according to what it says right here.
Right.
Clerk, take that, you know.
My question is, if we're, and this is for the record, if we are doing this contingent on request of proposals, have anything been put out to bid? We're suspending the rules. Has any, no RFPs have been put out to bid?
I don't know, you would have to ask Alderman Clark.
I mean, I haven't seen any of them put out to bid, so I'm wondering how we accepting requests of proposals.
What's the deadline for our insurance?
February 28th.
Right. While we're pondering on that question by Alderman Price, I just have a question to the clerk. It says, Section 1, the City of Harvey is issuing a request for proposal for broker services in response to a date of March 4th. And our date again?
28th February.
February 28th. So if, hypothetically, if you're not voted in, then what, you don't have insurance?
We don't have insurance. We can't dictate the terms to the insurance company.
Well, that was my next question. It says, the successful RFP respondent will be awarded a broker record for all lines of coverage on or before March 31st. The broker record status will be retroactive to February 28th, 2016. And I guess they're asking the current broker for extension. So, are you? How does that go? I mean, could you expound on that? And I'm kind of unclear in terms of.
Yes. We can't dictate the terms to the insurance company. They decide the base of the renewal. And they don't have time to request. And we can't, we could dictate terms. We probably wouldn't be having this meeting without dictating the rates. We can't dictate the terms to the insurance companies. The dates are the dates.
Okay, but correct me if I'm wrong, but what they're saying is that we want to extend or renew the coverage. So this is saying that, you're right, by the February 28th date, but to have the broker go out to bid, because technically most municipalities, it does go out to bid.
I would have to disagree, Alderman Joinski.
I realize that, and you know, I think very highly of you. I did contact several other municipalities, and they did say, yes, it goes to bid, and then everyone submits their resume, and then it sits down for the broker, because the broker that is not paid by the city. The broker gets a certain percentage of the overall cost of the insurance. Now, we are self-insured, so we have to pay the first $800, correct me if I'm wrong, $800,000, and then I don't have the packet in front of me, but then anything over $800,000, that's when the broker comes in with the insurance, and that the second half comes in, the part 2 pays. But we are self-insured, so anything under $800,000, it is sold in-house.
Let me just ask, just for the record, Alderwoman, could you just give me a few names of those particular communities so I can just check? Do you have any of those names?
The village of Dalton, village of Posen, village of Homewood. And I did contact the village of the city of Calumet City, because I figured I'd go city to city, but I did not get back to them.
So, did they have, you know, because this appears to be a very unique situation in terms of, you know, so we're asking Mr. Taylor basically to extend his services, correct? And so if in fact, what data would they be looking at, and then who would pay? You know, because I'm certain that we're into some type of financial arrangement with respect to Mr. Taylor. Could you explain to me the insurance piece? Because I'm not concerned. I'm not, you know.
Usually with an RFP, most municipalities, they have their own decision when they do RFPs or not. There are a number of municipalities that don't. When some of them do, it is when they're looking to possibly change brokers, but most of them don't. City of Country Club Hills does not do an RFP. City of Markham doesn't do an RFP. First thing I've heard of Village of Markham, because they didn't do an RFP.
I didn't say the Village of Markham.
No, Dalton.
And actually, I got that from one of their
Last voting I
managers.
said in, they didn't do an RFP
Yeah.
when they changed brokers. So it's usually something that's up to that individual municipality, but you don't see it much. When brokers go out to bid, the brokers do the bidding. To have 3 or 4 brokers doing the same thing, going to the same carriers, is just redundancy. And as of right now, like I said, we can't dictate the terms to the insurance companies to extend out as they wait to see who the broker is.
Mr. Martin?
Well, yeah. So I'm not sure I entirely understand the resolution, but to Mr. Taylor's point, so we have, I think, 6 or 7 companies off the top of my head that the insurance, the city purchases insurance through. For most of those companies, the terms of the contract are 100% earned premium at renewal. So there is not the ability, for most, not all, there's not the ability to renew for 4 days or for 1 month, and then term or, well, you could term, but the city would be responsible for 100% of the premium. So I'm not exactly sure what the intent here is, but my point is that if the city were to decide to make a change, the premiums have to be, are 100% earned by those carriers at renewal, for many of them, not all of them, but many of them, most of them actually. So,
I guess my concern is, it says, proposed TPA agreed to extend coverage from February 28, 2016 to 45 days, allowing enough time for the RFP process to be completed. The question becomes, can the city legally force them to extend their service?
I don't have that document, Mr. Mayor, but I'm just looking at the agenda.
Yeah, I want to say something. Sis, I just need to know legally, can we force you guys, number one?
No, you cannot. You cannot force the carriers.
Want you to talk on that. That's just my concern.
Mr. Mayor, one is we're in the middle of a vote. We're actually waiting for one more vote on what to suspend the rules. But we're not trying to force. We're not trying to force the carrier to do anything.
Well, I think
as
the chair, I have the right to ascertain information relative to this particular discussion. And since we're talking about something that might not be in order or correct, so again, we certainly we have difference of opinions.
Yeah, we do have a difference of opinion, yes.
Right.
If I'm reading this correctly, it says the proposed carriers and TPA agree to extend coverage from February 28, 2016.
Can you speak up so the public can hear, please?
Yes, I'm sorry. The proposed, it looks like there are 2 options here. The proposed carriers and TPA agree to extend coverage from February 28, 2016 for 45 days, allowing enough time for RFP process to be completed. I don't have those commitments from either the TPA or the carriers. We do not have those commitments.
What if they don't extend coverage?
Then you won't have any coverage.
Excuse me. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Then you will, on February 29th, you will not have coverage. Coverage expires February 28th.
So what's the possibility of getting an extension?
Well, I can tell you that the terms from most of the carriers are 100% earned premium. Which means 12 terms that were released to us from the majority of the carriers. The 100 is a 12-month contract. Is not a short-term contract, which means and it's 100% earned. So if you were to cancel in 45 days, which you could, you would still have to pay 100% of the 12 months worth of premium.
Okay, may I ask one question to you? Now, the Village of Posen don't even deal with the brokers.
Pardon?
The Village of Posen don't even have the brokers. They deal directly with the insurance companies.
Okay.
So what you're saying, we don't know what your percentage is. What we were talking about when we met for those 2 hours, we were talking about risk management, yet our audits reflect that our employee health care, we were penalized because we were paying health insurance on employees that were no longer employed with the city of Harvey. Yet, we have employee handbooks and employee training, but when our employee files are noted that we need to keep records of our employee files. So there is really some confusion here as far as exactly what's transpiring. If we're gonna go with the broker, and we are, with the bids, all this should have been done 45 days before. Now, Cliff, you know I addressed this last year with you. We had a conversation about going out to bid in the past, but we came in at the last minute again. And then this time, we had, what, a month's notice? You know, so I mean, it's 2 weeks notice, again, going through this. And we were here. The mayor did call a meeting on the whole. We were here for quite some time discussing this insurance. So there is a motion.
Well, let me just say that, and I'd certainly like to just say that we should be very concerned about playing Russian roulette with the city employees insurance, you know, because if in fact we can't get the extension, and then certainly we, you know, everyone needs their health insurance. Last, what did you say, Mr. Marcos?
I was just responding to your question, Your Honor, that as I read these two options, neither one of these are options that we can commit to. I don't want to speak to the rest of it, but these two options, as I read them and understand them, we cannot commit to either one of these options this evening. So we can't commit on behalf of the carriers or the CPA.
So in essence,
And it also says that the broker of record is going to be paid for the entire premium going back to the day of the expiration. So the old carrier is going to get 45 days extension, and the new broker is going to get paid for it. That's what this says in option number 2.
So we're still in the middle of it. Suspend the rules. We know we're waiting on one vote to suspend the rules.
Wait a minute. Okay, we were at Alderman Price.
Correct. And he had a question. And he didn't have an opportunity to vote yet.
To suspend the rules.
To suspend the rules.
It's gonna pass. I can vote yes for suspension of the rules.
Motion to approve.
Second.
What are we approving?
We're approving resolution 27.
792.
Against what the attorney said, dealing with 45 days?
You are required by law to have workers' compensation insurance at all times.
Good. We have a motion on second.
So I just want to understand,
Just for
this
the record.
RFP has already been
What?
submitted. This RFP, Alderman Clark drafted an RFP. He submitted it, it's in your packet. Oh,
But I do have to call the roll. You understand?
This is still
All
discussion, it's discussion.
We still discussion. So who was this broker? Where did you get this RFP from?
We do have a legislative
I'm
council.
just asking you.
We do
I'm
have
asking you,
legislative-
you
I'm telling
submitted
We
it.
have a legislative council.
Can you tell me anything about this broker?
I don't know anything about the broker, that's an
What's this
RFP.
RFP?
That is an RFP.
Request for proposal, whatever it is.
Request.
But this was submitted by Mr.
Alderman
Clark.
Clark at the last meeting.
So I'm asking-
At the meeting of the whole.
Right, I'm asking, who gave you this RFP?
And that's what I was saying to you. We do have, that's what I'm saying, we do, including you actually. We have legislative council. We have somebody else to do the work because we have legislative council.
Again. A RFP being submitted. No one knows where it came from. He submitted it, but he can't comment on it. But he wants to vote on RFP that no one knows about.
You should have read it.
But the question is,
My attorney, what's the
By law,
I think about,
you
wait,
should've read it.
but
Okay,
to
you should've contacted your attorney.
accept the request for proposal without anybody else having an opportunity to bid.
That's what
No,
it is.
that's what it is. So
That's
that
what it
But we
everybody
already
will
have,
another
but we
option.
already have a request.
Okay.
But the question is, if in fact, I just want to be clear on this. If in fact they don't get the extension, then we might not have insurance for our city employees. Is that a possibility?
Does that fall into everything else?
Yeah.
All our insurance?
This is about property and casualty.
Property and casualty, that's what I'm talking about. Okay.
This is property and casualty?
Get it right.
And general liability, exactly.
Workers' compensation, elected officials,
Not health insurance.
all of your
It's
insurance.
not health insurance. It's not your health insurance.
It's everything, Bob.
Hold on. Mr. Taylor, would you explain, please, what this is entailing?
I really don't know, because RFPs are usually an administrative duty. It's not, city councils can legislate, but to actually do the RFP process, that's usually an administrative duty. To keep away for it to be a fair and unbiased process.
We need to keep in mind, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, may I?
Just for the record, who is, any order, you tell me for the record who produced the document? You said it was legislative council?
I don't know exactly who produced the documents. I know that I reviewed it, and upon my review, I submitted it to the council for review. And the committee had since last Tuesday to review the document to decide if it was something that they agreed with. And so now, here's the point where the council can decide whether they agree with it or not, because we have a motion on the floor and a second. And so we can decide if they agree with it.
But you said that you don't know who produced the document, but you said the committee, but what committee was, who was part of that
The
committee?
committee of the whole that met on Tuesday that you called the meeting for,
But I'm saying,
that I presented it.
so you don't know who produced the document? Alderwoman Zawinski, do you know?
Alderman Clark produced the document on that meeting as a meeting as a whole, provided it to the entire elected base, the legislative and you, sir, a copy of it. It was in the packet, it was in your packet on Friday. You had all weekend to review it. So, since you addressed me, may I add one more thing?
Yes, ma'am.
We got to keep in mind, we are self-insured. This is for insurances over $800,000. So keep that in mind. We are self-insured. Anything under $800,000, the city pays. And the amount of this insurance is $1.7 million. Do I stand correct?
Again, I would have to
2.1. 2.1.
Oh, 2.1. I apologize.
And the simple fact is, it's kind of like, to just make a simplified term, to me, I'm looking at it, it's just kind of like your car insurance. If you got a $1,000 deductible and you get into an accident that's only worth $500, what are you going to do? You're going to pay it instead of paying your deductible. Okay? And if your insurance premiums go up and your deductibles go up from your insurance broker, whether it's State Farm or Allstate or Geico, first thing you're going to do is you're going to say, I need to look into possibly finding another broker. So because the people are paying taxes and the insurance premiums have gone up, some of the coverage has gone down, and the deductibles have gone up, in order to try to save the citizens of Harvey additional funds, so once again, and I want to repeat it again and again, with $64 million in debt, then we need to try to save this money. Now, I said it at the committee meeting, and I'll say it again. If SBBG submits a proposal, and it's a good proposal, I have no problem with the SBBG being the broker, and I'll put that for the record. I've known Clifford Taylor since maybe 5, I think I was 7 or something like that, and we've known each other all of our lives, but this has nothing to do with that. What we're looking for and what we should be looking for outside of friendships and acquaintances and things of that nature are basically what's going to be best to help the people of the city save money. So that's what we're trying to do.
But where did it come from?
Let me just add that. One, using an analogy, if in fact I was married and I would have to check on my wife to let my wife know that I'm getting ready to change my insurance to make sure that my my children are covered at the last hour. I wouldn't certainly gamble on the fact that if in fact this one particular company can't cover it, now we're gonna have any coverage. And that's my concern. My concern is that the insurance experts indicate they can't do it. The attorney indicated that by law we have to have workers' comp. And now we're gambling to see if in fact point number 1 or 2 can even be done.
Well, if it's voted to be approved, you always have the opportunity to veto it.
Yes. Excuse me, Attorney.
So Mayor, the time frame, I'm not certain how this is gonna happen, because the time frame for you to veto this action will be at the next regular city council meeting. The time frame for them to override that veto will be at the city council meeting after that, and you will be without coverage. Alderman Clark said that you will have coverage. I just want to know, for the record, how we're gonna have coverage. I mean, because you're required to have workers' compensation coverage.
Mr. Taylor.
In addition to intergovernmental agreements with the city of Chicago, Metro, we handle fire services for Village of Dixmoor. We have intergovernmental agreements where insurance is required by February 28th in order for these intergovernmental agreements to stay intact. And in reference to picking the broker, I mean, we explained the services that we've been able to provide and the success we've been able to have. We went to 32 carriers. That's where the real bidding comes in. We're talking about this broker thing. The real bidding is going out to the carriers. We have the facts. Our license, our E&O insurance is on the line. We're not going to say something that's not factual. We went to 32 carriers. We did the bid process. These are the best numbers we can come up with considering Harvey's current situation. To make sure this and that, I feel like my professionalism is being questioned.
Let me just go for the record. Attorney, could you rephrase that question for
I just wanted to know, how can we ensure that we're going to have workers' compensation coverage in time for February 28th, which is 6 days from now? You're not, I'm not.
You said by law?
By law, you have to have workers' compensation insurance.
Is it impossible to get an extension?
I think that we would have, Alderman Brown, needed to have had this conversation with the broker.
Not
like what they talking about.
So, I mean, they would only answer that, but I think it would have been respectful for us to have that conversation when we made this decision. You asked them for an extension last week?
Last week, when he proposed this.
No, so just to be clear, last week, none of this was attached. Last week, what was attached was an RFP, no it wasn't. What was attached was an RFP, a request for proposal. This document on the front was asking for the extensions and all this. No, this was not attached to it. So I just want to be clear that the broker would have to be the one to ask. And again, we have 6 days, so.
Yes, Alderman Price.
This was
Chair recognizes Alderman Price.
This was presented at the committee of the whole special meeting.
It wasn't presented.
Wait, the RFP.
Right. It was given at the conclusion of the meeting.
Right. And they voted on it. You said they tried to take a vote.
Well, actually, Clark didn't call a roll.
But wait a minute. It's a special meeting.
Absolutely.
You cannot amend a special meeting agenda. You must stick to what is on that special meeting agenda.
Absolutely.
And you can't add anything. So how was even a vote? How was it even presented and then a vote trying to be taken?
I didn't take no vote.
She didn't take no vote.
I didn't take
Oh, you
no
did,
vote.
but he called the vote.
Right.
I did not take a vote.
Okay.
Alderman Clark.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just asking.
On that meeting of a whole, to discuss insurance, to discuss the broker, Mr. Taylor, did you not give a presentation as the broker?
That was the agenda of the meeting, yes, ma'am.
The broker's presentation. It's a broker. So that is why this was brought up at that meeting, to entertain the broker. We did not, in 20 years, or I can't say that, I can say in 5 years. And I have been asking, and last year, we get this in the first meeting or the second meeting, and it's saying we need a response right away. And that is why you called another meeting, trying to rectify it. Now, there are concerns because our audits reflect that.
What we're talking about tonight is, by law, we're supposed to have workers' comp. And I just want to go on record saying that if in fact, the brokers, can you legally or, find a way to extend this? I need to know that for the record. I mean, can you speak on that?
He said premiums are 100% earned, which means they have to be paid in full up front. That's the premium for the year. And it has to be paid by the policy date, which is the 28th. It's really cut clear.
Yeah, I can confirm it now. I mean, we have, as I said, out of the 6 or 7 companies that insure the city, the bulk of them have 100% earned premium. So there are a few that you could cancel early and get your money back, but the bulk of them you cannot.
Okay.
So in essence, basically, we just vote tonight to not provide workers' comp insurance. That's what the vote is for tonight.
No.
That's what you're saying.
That's what you're saying. I mean, because if in fact they can't get the extension, then how are we gonna have workers' comp?
Because we said they can renew.
Excuse me. Go ahead, Alden.
This is not a discussion on the insurance. This is the discussion on the brokers. So whatever that insurance is, we want to make sure that with that insurance, whatever the insurance, whoever the brokers are to apply for this position, the insurance is going to be there. That's all I'm saying.
Mr. Clark,
of course, they cannot.
I guess my question would be, from a personal standpoint, why give someone else credit for the work we've done? We're doing the work. We're the brokers. We're providing the service. We went to all the carriers. This policy has been self-insured before we took it over. It's always been partially insured. This is nothing new. It's nothing new to you, Alderman Juwenski. What's the difference now? So we're going to have another broker come for the work we've done.
Go ahead, Mr. Markham.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, but one more point. As I read that resolution, I disagree with the Alderwoman's characterization. It read to me not that you were making a consultant or broker selection, but that you were instructing the carriers and the TPA to act a certain way. That's how I read the resolution. I don't have it back in front of me again, but that's how I read it. And
that's the way it is.
Yeah.
And asking for the extension.
Correct. So I just have to
You can't separate that. You
Not
can't
the way I
ask
read
somebody
that.
to give me an extension at the same time, you're basically trying to take them out.
You can pay for insurance twice if you want.
No, we're not in a position to pay for insurance twice. We're not in a position to not insure our workers.
The mayor asked you a question about whether or not it was legal to extend or renew the coverage, and you answered and said that it wasn't. Are you an attorney?
No, I didn't say, I didn't ask you. I said the way I read that, the instructions that, I don't have it again in front of me, those 2 bullet points that I looked at, those 2, what that resolution, the way I read it, is instructing us, instructing the insurance companies and the TPA to act a certain way. And I am telling you, in this body, that we are not in a position to commit to that.
But they are. They can make that decision. The people who you said, the TPA and...
The terms that we have that they've released to us will not allow for, those terms are, as I stated, in most of the carriers are offering 100% minimum earned premium. So
in other words, you'd be saying you can't make that decision, but you can't make the decision to renew it.
No.
But they can.
I'm saying that's going to, well, for sure, we cannot commit to that, and I can tell you that the TPA will not commit to that, and I think you're going to be, good luck getting the carriers to commit to that. That's all my point.
They don't want $2.1 million. I don't know. That's what the check gonna look like.
Well, I think the issue is, the timeline. I want to do, we don't have the time. And we certainly don't want to pay, as I indicated, roughly related with the city workers.
There's a motion on the floor and a second.
So what you're saying is, I just want to understand, you want a check to go to the carriers for $2.1 million by the 28th. I'm just trying to follow. And at that time, you want the city to say we don't have a broker. And then you want to put out an RFP for insurance coverage that we already purchased and let another broker come in, and then you want us to send a letter back to the carriers to say we want this new broker to get the commission that they would have gotten. Is that what? No, I'm just trying to understand. You said we're going to pay for the coverage.
Everybody gets to come to the table.
But we're going to already have purchased the coverage.
Everybody gets to come to the table.
But
Well,
again,
that's because it was presented at the last minute, because we got it a few weeks ago. What should have been done, it should have been brought earlier.
so the new broker isn't going to actually have to do anything other than say who they are, and you're going to agree you like them or you don't.
They're gonna work. Where the others?
Not to purchase an insurance package though.
So it appears that there's a broker probably, waiting on the wings.
That's the way you operate. We don't operate that way.
That's what it
why we want
seems like.
transparency.
That's what it seems like. Because, for you to, for this body to, again, play Russian roulette with the city employees, police, fire, and sanitation, to not cover, and this is it's even $200,000. Couldn't even, the tax levy was one thing. Now we're saying we're not going to give the employees insurance. Jesus Christ.
We call the roll then?
Well, I do have, due to the fact that I have a motion and it was seconded by Alderman Whittington, I do have to call the roll, but that doesn't mean whatever. And Alderwoman DeWinsky. Alderwoman DeWinsky.
Wait a minute, we've already went through. Now this is to approve a resolution 2792.
It got to me, and I had questions about how it was working.
Did you vote, sir?
My vote to suspend the rules was,
yes.
I will vote to suspend the rules
Okay.
because it's going to pass anyway.
Okay.
And then I move to approve, and Alderman Whittington second.
Second.
Yes.
Alderman Whittington.
Aye.
Alderman Clark.
Aye.
Alderman Brown.
Aye.
No.
Alderman Nesbitt.
No.
Alderman Price.
No, and for the record, I'm happy y'all think it's funny that workers might not have insurance in 6 days. I'm happy y'all think it's funny that people aren't passing tax levies.
Get it in order, you don't have to worry about it.
So,
Get it in order.
my vote would be definitely no.
We don't care what you do. Get your mess in order before you come here. Get this stuff in order. Every month now, since you can't have this last book, where everything is right.
Motion to take positions and communications officer.
Number 7, everything is all right.
Okay. With that, okay, but with that, I had to call the roll because I'm the clerk, and they Clark motion to approve resolution 2792, and it was seconded by Alderman Whittington, and it was,
Well,
I know, I'm just saying.
I just want to state for the record that I'm a veto. I'm gonna use my veto power. For the record.
Which would already be passed.
Yeah.
And I want to state for the record that
Yeah.
we expect for it to be put on the agenda the following meeting for reconsideration.
I'm saying that I'm gonna veto, and I'm gonna find out if there's some executive, powers that I can exercise, but certainly I'm definitely gonna, you know, the city employee would not go without insurance. They would not. They would not go. So, yeah. So just for the record first, I want to say that I'm going to veto Alderman Brown, Clark, Whittington, and Winsky's vote.
Number 11.
So,
I got the motion and a second from Mr. Winston on petitions and communication.
You gonna do them? Okay. On the petitions and communication, Alderwoman Lewinsky?
Yes.
Alderman Whittington?
Aye.
Alderman Clark?
Aye.
Alderman Brown?
Aye.
Alderman Nesbitt?
Aye.
Alderman Price?
Yes.
Thank you very much. By omnibus vote, motion carried.
this time we move to reports by Alderman. We'll start with Alderman of the 3rd Ward, Alderman Clark.
I'm going to be excused, so I'm going to ask that you move to someone else. I need to be excused.
If
Or you can wait.
we can certainly, looking at the hour, certainly don't want to keep the residents here all night.
I'm not.
We move to the Alderman of 4th, Alderman Brown.
How you doing? I know it's rough, you know, sitting through the opinions and the infighting. But if you have faith in God, keep holding on.
That's right.
Keep holding on. I do have a confession. As you already know, over the past couple of months, a lot of my personal business has been on display. And I stand here with great humility because of that. Whether it was 100% true, 50% true, whether it was all a lie. The truth is, I'm not perfect.
No one.
I made some mistakes 20 years ago. I made some mistakes last week. I made some mistakes this morning. Tomorrow I might run a red stoplight. Next week you may see in the mayor's report about, I don't know, about my failed marriage. You may see something about my son disobeying the law. Whatever. I want to apologize to you that my personal information has been a distraction from what the real issues are. Because I know you want solutions, and I know you want results. And the real issues are the fact that we're trying our best to get things operating in the manner that they should be operating.
Amen.
Unfortunately, and I didn't even realize this until the auditors put it in their report. I had no idea that the city of Harvey has been operating with no policies and procedure manual. I couldn't fathom that. If you want a copy of that, the auditor's report, that didn't come from me, that came from the auditors that we hired. But those are some of the real issues. We need to get our accounting up, we need to get new software, and we need to do a whole lot of things. But keep the faith, don't stop praying, don't stop believing. I do believe, as crazy as it may seem, I do believe that we all can come together. I believe that. I believe faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. And right now, I know we don't see it.
If you really come through it, then you'll see it.
So, what I want to do is share some information about our next 4th Ward community meeting, which is scheduled for Saturday, March 5th, on the first Saturday of every month, which the first Saturday of March is March 5th. The location is to be announced. The 4th Ward residents and other business communities came together, and we have collected over 200 cases of water that we're actually going to be shipping down to Flint, Michigan, and helping those individuals that's in Flint, Michigan, that's in the need of water. And
This Saturday?
Next Saturday, March, not this Saturday coming up, which is 27th, but the following Saturday after that, which is March 5th at 1 p.m. We want you to get involved. A lot of information that we don't necessarily have time enough to distribute to you all, as far as providing documents and facts, will definitely be provided to you all at the meeting. And if I didn't say it before, the location is to be announced. You will get a call, a robocall, or we'll communicate how we've been communicating to let you know what that location is. And I want to end with saying, since it is Black History Month, Dr. King said that if we don't come together as brothers and sisters, we're going to die together as fools.
That's right.
So I pray and hope that we finally come together.
I just want to add that, since you did say the mayor's report, personal information becomes public information. The day that you raise your hand and say, I'm going to be a public servant. So anything that I put in PowerPoint relative to public service is just part of our job. With respect to Dr. King, he said that truth will crush against the earth shall rise. The true measure of a man is not where he stands in time of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in time of conflict and controversy. So certainly we've had a lot of opportunities to engage in dialogue, and more importantly, I like to speak from actual facts. The information that I put forth is not to defame, but it's just information. And certainly I hope moving forward, I did have some conversation with individuals, and certainly moving forward we can engage in dialogue. But it's amazing, I learned, in boxing and karate, if you give a punch, you got to be ready to receive a punch.
Go the first stone.
That's just the way life is. So this time we move to the order of the. Yes, sir.
Can I ask Alderman Brown a question? Can you ask him a question? As it relates to the policy procedure, what would you help? Mr. Mark?
I don't think it was pertaining to the police department.
Everybody got us there in the corner. We don't need this, man.
Meanwhile,
Yes, let's go on.
Clark is looking for that Alderman. Clark, you ready? Yeah. Certainly we'll move to Alderman Clark at this point.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you for, being patient. I'll make mine really quick. We're going to have once again, condolences to the Kellogg family and also to the Bishop's family for their losses. This is the end of the month, so I don't have to wish any birthdays yet. That'll be next month. We also having our ward meeting on March 5th, 2016, at 1 o'clock at 15400 Lincoln. That's New Shining Light Church of God in Christ. most of the information that I talk about today can be seen on our website. Our website is up and running. It's aldermanclark.com. So you can go there for information. As we develop the website, we'll be posting more information in regards to things that are going on in the city. Trying to provide you a little more of a transparency piece that we're talking about so that people know what's going on specifically in the city. We also have a YouTube channel, Alderman Clark, and on that YouTube channel we're posting our meetings, unedited, uncut, unfiltered, uncensored. We're posting the council meetings, the committee meetings, and I'm also providing a award address every week so you can have a better idea of what's going on and what at least is coming from my position as an alderman. So once again, that's aldermanclark.com for the website and the YouTube channel, Alderman Clark. I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of you. I'm glad the weather is starting to change. I hope that it really keeps up, because I am really looking forward to seeing a lot of you again outside of the council meeting and outside of board meetings. I think I may have gained a couple extra pounds this winter from not being able to walk as much as I would like to. So hopefully when the weather breaks, should it break within the next week or two, I'll be back out walking. You know, you can feel free to, tell me what I'm doing, tell me what I'm not doing, tell me what you like, or tell me what you don't like, because like I said before, when you tell me what you tell me, in essence, it makes me a little bit better at doing my job. So I appreciate that. I think that's about it, Mr. Mayor. Once again, just if you have any questions or concerns, there's the issue. If you have any questions or concerns, you can call me at 708-491-5259. I'm developing a better system for returning phone calls. I was doing a good job, but it kind of slipped off there. So I want to make sure everybody knows and understands that I'm developing a different system for that. But one of the things that's happening here is that my number still is not on the City of Harvey website, and I'm still not recognized as being an alderman on the City of Harvey website, neither is Alderman Brown. So sometimes people will send mail or they'll make phone calls and they don't know exactly who they're supposed to go to. So I will also give you my address if you want to send mail, a letter or request or something of that nature. It's P.O. Box 1771, Harvey, Illinois 60426. That's once again P.O. Box 1771, Harvey, Illinois 60426. And that is my report.
Thank you so much, Alderman Clark, for serving out my family, what you did. Thank you to my family for your condolences. It's time to move to the alderman of the second ward. Alderman Winston.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, to my colleagues and to the citizens of Harvey. I also would like to send my condolences to the Kellogg family, to Mr. Bishop's family, and the Whittington's family. My comments will be brief. I'm so proud of this month of Black History Month. But sometimes you have to go back and sit down and just look at all the wonderful things that was accomplished by African Americans to contribute to this great country. There's things that we have to constantly remind ourselves of, that this country is still young and backwards in a lot of sense. And we have an opportunity in the 21st century to do a lot of great things. I think I've had the same sentiment a lot of you may have had, that you dreamed of being able to have a city, Atlanta, Harvey, New Orleans, where people can come enjoy great cuisine and our culture like they would enjoy in the Caribbean or in Jamaica. As one of the leaders of of city fathers, I'm anxious to get us to the point that we do see a city within the next 3 years that no one will be talking about us, but actually trying to break their legs to get in here to be a part of us. And how that's going to begin is to close up some of the holes in our bucket. Because our bucket does have some holes in it. Our affirmation for our city is that Harvey is rising. Well, I want it to rise. And as an African American man, I want to be a part of it. I want every east, west, north, and south to reflect what we're going to do. And I want you in your lifetime to want to do that. We have great schools. We centralize with only 2 colleges in the area. We need to utilize all of that. We have great businesses that we're not sending our kids there. We got houses that we can put people in. I want to see a collective goal. So far, the first goal that we got is the audit. I want to see that audit implemented. I want to see it posted on the PowerPoint where you can look at it and agree with us as a whole. It's not my city. It's not nobody's city. It's all of our city. You have a right to know the taxes, where your money is going. That's all I want to do. It's all I want to say. This is Black History Month. Let's make our ancestors proud of where we come from and what our legacy is. Let's go forth with it without any disagreement. In closing, I too, may I call you Cliff and Steve? There's no way I'm here to try to take away any health issues from our employees, but it seems that we always deal with fear. We always promote fear. And fear is not the tool that I would rather use. I'm asking for hope. There we have some time. Let's utilize our time to get the best answers for our employees and the city. That's all I'm saying. And that ends my report.
Thank you very much, Alderman. You indicated 2 things I will comment on, to be very brief. You indicated that you're looking for a city that no one is talking about. And I'm saying if you're looking for a city that no one's talking about, I think you're going to have to wait till you get to heaven. And that's a city that have golden streets. And so nowhere in America, or in this great country, or this world, can you find a city that nobody's going to talk about. So I think you're going to have to wait to heaven to get that.
I was on
and
the phone with you, sir.
Right. And then also, I don't know if you are familiar with, you said some Jamaican cuisine. I don't know if you're familiar with 159th and right up at Lima, Jamaican jerk place that got some awesome, and some awesome jerk chicken right here in our great city.
Right.
Awesome jerk fish.
Right.
Jamaican jerk.
It's a sit-down restaurant for 100 people.
Oh man, you just said Jamaican jerk cuisine.
No,
So also, if you like fish, we have unlimited fish places right here in this great city. So again, I'm just commenting, trying to let the record reflect. But again, I certainly thank you for your words of condolence to the family. We certainly will pass it on. But I certainly say that if you're looking for that street where that city that nobody's talking about, you gotta wait on heaven. With that said, we move to the alderman of the first ward, Alderwoman Lewinsky.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and again, my thoughts and prayers with your entire family along with the Bishop family. I am definitely going to be very short. I want to thank you, Mr. Mayor. I had a resident have several issues on 165th with resident parking, and the signs finally did come up, so thank you. We are having an increase of truck traffic on 162nd through 165th, from Lathrop all the way on those streets, all the way to Allstate Street. So, and the trucks are, it's a subdivision, it's a community, and there are children, and they are traveling pretty fast. So I just want to make you mindful of that. And the First Ward is hosting a ward meeting that is this Saturday at 2 o'clock at St. John's Church. It's on 158 in Emerald. Everyone's welcome to attend. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alderman West. Then we move to the Alderman of the Fifth Ward, Alderman Neville.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, everyone. Just have one question. I think Attorney Lewis is here. Maybe she can help me with this. I was under the impression that in Illinois State Municipal Code says that anyone that has a felon or is a felon cannot hold an elected position in the municipality. Am I wrong on that? I might be. I don't know.
Peace.
I don't think it's appropriate for me to comment on that.
Peace.
Maybe Alderman Clark,
We don't want to
can
hear.
you
You gotta start
tell me
with
whether
your
or not
corn.
that is accurate or not?
You gotta start with your corn.
It's not appropriate for me to comment.
Thank you. That ends my report.
Thank you so much, Alderman Neville. This time, we'll move to Alderman Price.
Thank you, Mayor, colleagues, citizens. Good evening.
Good evening.
Is that for the record?
Well, bad evening.
Bad evening.
Maybe it's a bad evening. First, I have to give my sincere condolences to Mayor Kellogg and his family,
Thank you, Alderman.
and also Mr. Bishop. I had an event in the 6th Ward. Many of you heard about it. I was asked about it as soon as I walked in the council chambers today. One of my residents, send my condolences to their family as well, lost his daughter over the last few days. All I could think about was when I was sitting in Beggars and they came in to rob Beggars. And I talked to you all about them putting the guns up to my daughter's head, trying to make them open the safe. That could have easily been me, having buried one or two of my daughters. The senseless killing that's not only going, it's just going on all over America. We've been blessed to have one of the lowest murder rates Harvey has had in a long time. But at the same time, I really believe that the police are going to close this case. I have full confidence. A lot of the residents are talking. They're not keeping their mouth closed, which is the key to everything. So it really saddened me because instantly when I heard that he lost his daughter, it put me right back to the day I was eating in Vegas with my family. You heard a lot of things here tonight. Transparency. Committees. We heard that during the finance committee meetings that invoices were reviewed and ready to be paid. And because I was not there, and I submitted a letter as to what I thought about that meeting, that's why I did not come. Did you all review all 8 months of invoices? Or did you just pick specific invoices to go over? Was all 8
Is that a
months?
question?
Yes, sir.
No, we did not review all 8 months. It was a procedure to see what the audit says, improperly invoices versus requisition forms. We want to make sure that those were done correctly. We found there was mistakes in several of them, and they were corrected, and that was all that was being done. A meeting to discuss those particular bills, how the procedure was. And it was open to you.
Yeah, I know, I didn't say it wasn't open to me.
Okay.
I said that I did not come because I felt like there is no finance committee set yet because it's in litigation. And I wrote that in my letter. For us to say we want to start being transparent and pay these bills that haven't been paid, I think it's only right, and I think I talked to you on the phone about this. I would love to do it on a day where we can go through, starting month by month, of the bills that have not been paid, instead of jumping straight to, all of a sudden, 2 weeks ago, there was gonna be some bills paid today. And that's on the camera, that's on the actual meeting that you posted on your site, where you admitted that you were gonna pay some bills tonight. And I'm with the transparency thing. I raised hell about it when Lecky was here. But since Mr. Williams has been here, I haven't had a problem with transparency. And I can only speak for me. I haven't had a problem if I question invoices, going to get them, and I have said this before. And it's sad that I have to keep saying the same thing over and over again, but it seems every meeting we're going through the same thing over and over again. And it's like we're just walking in place. We're dragging our feet in the mud. It really hurt my feelings to see Jamil up there today. Jamil was raised over on Sangleman. Jamil used to always do a lot of work, be it with the grass or anything. And I could never imagine that particular young man breaking in something. I'm not saying that he didn't, they got the DNA, that is what it is. But as we argue and bitch right up here, every meeting, we are failing these children. All that boy wanted to do was work. And we have held up money all year. I couldn't put him to work this summer. So when I saw him, it hurt. Because I felt like, damn, only if all the bills weren't being held up. Maybe I could have had him doing more work around. But one thing I never liked doing is having people work, and I know I can't pay them their money. So for me to have anybody do something for me, be it in the ward, and they're helping me, be it with shoveling snow for seniors. He was one of them guys that I was sent over there, or I would call when I got those type of calls. It saddens me because when I saw his face, I felt like I felt him. I felt like that was my fault because I didn't have more for him to do. And when we have people that's constantly holding up things, although some of the fight that these four are doing, I'm cool with it. But never will I not.
Time to go home.
I mean, I would never disrespect you like that, ma'am, ever. And I've only been respectful to you my whole life.
Yeah, but you get
So
on my nerves.
I don't, okay, that's your, you can leave at any time you feel. I'm not holding you up.
Yes, you are.
No, because you can walk out. But I never do you like that. And I've never done you like that.
Talk about what's
It's peanut galleries for everybody. If I wanted to, I could fill this place up with supporters of mine every day to raise hell at every meeting. Let's not forget. See, let me tell you something. For the last 2 elections, I'm not going, I love her. And I say that on camera, I'm not disrespect. I never disrespect her like she's doing me. And I still will not. But for the last 2 elections, I'm the highest vote getting Alderman in this city. Okay? So I work for my people. I can easily fill this place up with people that's gonna amen for everything I say. I refuse to do that, because it's not a game to me. But we as elected officials, we must pick and choose our fights. We cannot sit here and take the chance of our workers not having insurance. I mean, in 6 days, if y'all gonna make that happen, that's amazing, because he vetoes at the next meeting, which is past the 6 days anyway. But there are certain fights that we all might stand united on, but there's other fights that we gotta understand that we here to serve people. Even to the point of certain factories not being able to get their resolutions passed. That's jobs. When they want to expand, that's jobs. Maybe that brother could have had a job. You know, there's certain things that we holding up, that this, what we doing, is asinine. I just pray, I pray for our city. I pray that everybody stop trying to be the biggest person in the room. I ain't talking about weight, because I probably would win on that side. But we have to represent these people that elected us to do a job. I love my job. I love helping people. Everything I've done my whole life has been around helping people, so I like what I do. My people call me at all times and everything. Like I said, I'm a little emotional, because when I saw that young man's face and then thinking about the young lady that lost her life, it almost feel like I said, like I lost two very important people. So I just hope that the citizens, I know y'all irritated. Anybody in their right mind would be. But stick in there, and hopefully it'll be some compromise. An old man told me a long time ago that in good compromise, nobody is 100% happy. That's in good compromise. But in this room, it seems like everybody just wants everything their way. They want to follow the Robert Rules of Order when it pertains to them, but they don't want to follow it in other instances. And you saw all that for you yourselves tonight. Have a great night, Shirley.
Oh, no, I'll be back.
Okay. If we are not serious, and maybe this is what's trying to be accomplished, maybe they want this city taken over. I don't know. I can't speak on what other people do or why they do it, but that's what it feels like. If you look at the city of Harvey as a spot in Africa, or just a predominantly black community, I personally want to know what other predominantly black communities with a black mayor pumps water. Our water is gold. I've said this 1,000 times. We cannot allow people to come in here and take our natural resource. Yes, we are supposed to stay on people about doing what they're supposed to do and being transparent. Yes, I agree with that. But at the same time, we can't just give this city away when I've heard so many businessmen talking about coming here right off the expressway and investing in Harvey. We hurt ourselves with all the arguing. We hurt ourselves with all the arguing and the bickering amongst each other. I wish we could just go in executive session, cuss each other out, and come out and just vote however you're gonna vote and leave all the other stuff out of it. So, stay strong, citizens, and we're gonna continue to fight regardless. And Mayor, that ends my report.
Thank you very much, Alderman. I just want to first of all, acknowledge you for your heartfelt passion with respect to the young man. When you look at all the national statistics, they say that one of the ways that we can curtail or eradicate some of the violence in our communities is give the youth jobs, and or give them activities like Alderman Nesbitt is doing, or give them jobs cutting grass like you were doing. And so I understand your concern, but then when you look at history, you know, I have to reflect back to the Federalists when they were in power. There was this man named Hamilton and Burr. They had a duel. They killed each other over politics. And we almost at a point now where we're allowing, we're becoming mortal enemies over politics, which is really becoming to the detriment of our community. And I just wanted to say this, while I'm thinking about this, and I just want this for the record. I saw two individuals in here tonight that are directly related to a particular insurance company. After the vote was taken tonight, they left. So I just want to know who, and Alderwoman Lewinsky, you said that Dalton, you said you talked to Dalton. Do you know who represents Dalton?
No, I do not.
Do you know who represents Polson?
No, I do not.
Do you know who represents Homewood?
No, I do not.
What about Harvey Parkers? Do you know who's the broker or insurance carrier for Harvey Parkers?
No, I do not.
Yeah, let me look into that, because I know when it's time for those brokers, I want to see if there any type of correlation or relationship between the two individuals that I saw and then the individuals that will come on the backside for the insurance, because certain things, just, you know, I like to analyze things. I like to look into the crowd and see who I know and see what I see. But when you start connecting the dots, certain things start coming together. So I'm not casting any negative aspersion on anybody's character, but it's just ironic that two individuals that was here who were directly aligned with one particular insurance company, after the vote, they left. So they just found, I found that was kind of peculiar, you know. And so I want to find out who Harvey Park District. Yes.
Just for the record, Harvey Park should change their broker, they did not honor.
How do you, is that a fact? Can I?
Yeah, that's a fact. And you don't have.
That's a fact?
It's a fact.
How can I get that information?
I was a broker.
Oh.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Just for the record, from Alderman Joe Whittington, I have no idea of any other broker here at any of these meetings that I'm aware of. The point was, a lot of things that were talked about, we learned a lot about insurance that day. A lot more than we normally have. We asked some questions about, was there any insurance to protect any money transfer? We asked about, was there any insurance on the abandoned houses that the city owns? Just in case there's some people that haven't used it as trap houses, or somebody get murdered in them, would we be liable? We asked important questions like that. That means for me, I did. So any of this, I wanted to spur all this voodoo conversation about people doing, seeing people. I didn't see anybody other than
I'm a Christian.
if you believe in the Lord, believe in the dark as well.
Well, again, I'm a Christian. I don't know nothing
I'm just
about
saying voodoo meaning talking stuff that's not there.
Don't even bring that to conversation, because I don't, you know, light dark can't coexist.
I don't deal with fear.
Yeah, okay.
Tell the government to pay.
This time,
Can I answer this question?
Move to public participation.
Can I answer this question, Mayor, before we move to public participation?
Go right.
No. In 2009, the audit reported that LNA was the auditors. They noted that the city does not have a policy and procedure manual. Written procedures, instructions, and assignments of duties will prevent or reduce misunderstanding, error, inefficient or wasted effort, duplicated or omitted procedures, and other situations that can result in inaccurate or untimely accounting. The next year, LNA noted that the city does not have a policy and procedure manual, written procedures, instructions, and so on and so forth. The next year, LNA said that the city does not have a policy and procedure manual, written procedures, instructions, and so on and so forth. Then the next year, LNA noted that the city still did not have a policy and procedure manual. And it also noted that, we talk about insurance, April 30th in 2010, we had $2.9 million in the bank that wasn't insured. April 30th, 2011, we had $4.4 million that wasn't insured. And this is, you know, you can get a full copy of this. And also, it says that even when we did, the city did pass a levy in 2011, it said we further noted that the city has not been funding both the police pension fund and the firefighters pension fund for that portion. So this is reports of the audit that I didn't write, I didn't make up, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna have a rebuttal to try to diminish the validity or the seriousness of this. But this is just a snapshot of what kind of work that we need to have done. I believe they spending all this time pulling up my personal information, and he don't even know the balance of, he can't even say he know the balance of, the mayor said he doesn't know the balance of the treasury report. The treasury report for 3 months. So these are from the auditors that we pay.
How much money is we got?
That's what I know.
So that's
Participation.
Let's go home.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'll make it quick. We're going to work there, but I think I'll make it. I have a problem with the report number 9, the number 9 item on the agenda. Report by the mayor. The report appears to be an attempt to unduly influence legislation to an executive level. Some of the language sounds partial to executive administration rather than an appeal to legislate government to better serve the citizens of Harvard. Based that on the fact that looking at the agenda, according to Robert's Rule of Order, 2 items appear to be missing, conspicuously absent: old business, new business. Either one of those items would allow you to do what you did tonight before you make a final decision and establish an open hearing. When you're using money for anything, tax money, it has to be done by an ordinance. The rules in the statutes say that an ordinance must be posted 10 days before it's conducted, an opportunity to have something to say about it. Tonight it appeared that it was a rush to get something done, that we were going to use some money to pay for it, and nobody knew anything about it. Does anybody know what happened with the insurance people? Was there ever any notice out there saying that the public is aware that we're going to have a meeting to discuss or do what we have to do with the general liability and workman's comp? I haven't seen anything yet. I was told there was a meeting.
Never mind, let me shut up. Meeting of the whole was for that. And it was posted.
I'm satisfied. I've made my, just like to know if anything would be taken into consideration to look at that and see if we can correct that situation.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Blunt.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mrs. Smith. Condolences to you, Mr. Bishop and Kellogg. My condolences to your family and your loss. First of all, I want to address everyone. As far as our last meeting, there were some aldermen that walked out. I say this for everyone. To stop a meeting is so unfair to us as citizens. It's very unfair because we can't speak out how we feel about what you talk about every week on this agenda, okay? I hope that never happens again with anyone. Even though if they did and someone else decides to do it again, walking out is not the answer because we're supposed to be here to resolve matters and fix things, not. So in saying that, I would like to address some of the things that did come up in your report last meeting, Mayor. One of them was the UIC is going to be
The only problem with respect to, when they walked out, there's certain things I can talk about, I can't talk about. Due to the fact
But
that
we are all here now, and the reports that you had on there, one of them I was a big concern for is UIC is supposedly helping with Illinois, with Ingalls now. You mentioned that, yes, UIC, you said it was good, you said it was good because research. I agree, research is good. However, Ingalls sits in an area that we know is the hub of everywhere. Will Ingalls expand to doing trauma now? Because we don't have no trauma. The closest trauma hospital is at 95th, meaning with most of Chicago, the paradigm here in the south suburbs, it's a golden hour where someone could live. Maybe even a little girl that got shot. We don't have a trauma center close by at all. So I'm glad UIC wants to merge with Ingalls, but it would be good for us to have a trauma center for our community as well. That's very important, more than research, okay? You talked about the 26 properties boarded up. Again, I've always addressed the boarded up properties. We need to do something with them, sell them, whoever needs them. I mean, it's costing us money for someone to board them up continuously. What are we doing about getting rid of them? We need to get rid of them. Flint, you mentioned Flint. I honor you that you would like to go out and help those people in Michigan. However, what is the city doing to make sure that we do not have the same situation Flint has, but our pipings and plumbers underlying? Are they in good shape, or will we have the same thing? The insurance that they talked about tonight, since it was such a long time that we talked about that insurance, I hope next year, whoever is sitting at this, make sure that this matter gets resolved way before we get to a deadline. That way it's not a problem later. Why are we waiting until the last minute to do everything? Then you say we laugh. It's funny because it's the same thing every time we come here. You have 4 voting yay or nay, the 2 yay or nay. It's either or. That's what's funny. Because it's like obvious that everybody's battling against each other. And they probably have good reasons. Because when it comes to paying bills, how am I going to pay any bill if I can't see how much money I have? If the treasurer can't produce how much money we have, how can we pay any bill? I don't understand. Help me to understand. Because if I bounce a check, what good is that going to do? I need to know, and at least when I'm doing the budget, I need to know what's the most important to pay for, which would be our water bill, I would think, for us. Another thing, what is so embarrassing the most when we get up and we talk about each other. As far as him being a felon, I could care less. He didn't spend none of my money, what he does, because you know what, the people voted for him. Even with him having a felony, everybody voted for him. And I can Google up, everybody can Google their name and you can find whatever I want to know about anybody. That makes me no difference. It's not what you do, it's how you do things. If you are a felon and you can take care of what's going on in my community, you deserve a chance. That's how I feel about it. And I know it's the law that says don't do it, but guess what? Why would the law let him in? I can't get a job as a banker if I got a bad credit. So therefore, he should be given a chance. But to publicly display it, I mean, everybody can't throw rocks at glass houses. You have to be careful because everybody got a pass. Everybody done did something wrong. So that's really not the agenda. It shouldn't even be up there, what somebody did or did not do. Now, if our website was updated, if our website was updated, like I mentioned before, you get an intern. There's a bunch of geeks that would love to do it as an intern and get some type of credit. Where we can, at least citizens, when we're in the 2016, almost 2020, where technology is way off the chain, we should be able to see some of those things so that we can be able to voice our own opinion. Or at least know, have knowledge of what's going on in the city. And that's all I have for now.
Let me just add for the record, this thing called full disclosure, full transparency with respect to individuals who are elected officials. Whenever individuals who are elected, they should fully disclose the fact they have, they're felons. Because when you don't disclose that you're a felon to the residents, then what you're doing, you're really depriving the residents of the fact that you are a felon. And so that's by law that you have to provide that information. And so, again, whatever you do in your house, that's your house. The way I conduct my business as the mayor, that's the way I conduct my business. Duly respected, and I respect what you're saying. But the bottom line is, if in fact there's some issues or some facts that need to be brought up, then I'm gonna bring them out. And guess what? I don't live in a glass house, but guess what? I'm not a two-time felon.
I understand that.
Understand
I
that?
understand that, ma'am. However, you can't become an elected official without record and still can be damaged. So what difference does it make?
Well, the bottom line is about the record book, what the record, but the book says that you cannot have a felon. That's the law.
I understand.
Okay.
But
So-
what I'm saying is people still elected.
Well, again, but the point what I just said, but I'm not gonna debate the merits of his case, the merits of his case, the merits of his case. But the bottom line is, you have to disclose that when you run. And if that's gonna be the case, then let every felon in America,
That's all.
hold off.
That's all I want.
You can't selectively choose felons.
That's very well known.
I'm just letting you know.
What I'm saying is.
Look at the law, the law.
What I'm saying is.
The law, the law. Let every felon hold office.
You got it, girl.
And work. And work.
If that's the case. I'm just saying, to bring it up in a meeting, if he has to tell me, we already know that that's all in favor.
No, I don't think so.
It
Because
is.
the people who voted for him didn't know.
Yeah, they did
Okay,
not.
so that's,
No, they did not.
okay, that's the
No, they
point.
did not know.
That's the point.
They did not
But let's
know.
talk about the water. Superintendent Fisher, are we safe for the water?
Man, let me explain about the water. That situation is going on in Flint, Michigan. Whoever is the licensed operator there is going to be held responsible for that. I am a licensed operator. I carry a C license and a backflow certificate. And the water's not to the quality that it's supposed to be in. They're not going to look at the council. They're not going to look at the mayor. They're going to come after me because I'm the one that holds the license. I'm the certified operator in this city. You have to have a licensed operator to send water to everybody else and make sure that it meets the standards of all of the guidelines that comes up. Now, once again, with the lead there, the lead has a concentration level there, which is 0.05 milligrams per liter. Now, with that, if anything exceeds beyond that, then the EPA will notify me through the laboratory. We send the water sample to the laboratory to be tested. Now, if they seize that amount of contamination, whatever it is, then EPA will notify me the area, which every month we take 30 samples throughout the city of Harvard, which is churches, businesses, houses, and everything else. Besides lead, we also go out for coliform bacteria and other contaminants that I take every month. Now, the lead we do every year. Okay, then after that, if they don't find anything after a year, then they might push it out to maybe 3 years. But right now, we do lead every year. But once again, when you watch the news, what it is, somebody's going to jail there in Flint. I hope somebody's going to jail there in Flint. At Crestwood, you all know what happened to Crestwood over there. Mixing well water with Lake Michigan water. So that's one of the issues over right there right now. They're going to come up with a lot of restrictions more so on licensed operators like myself that we have to make sure that water meets the quality for the citizens to drink. So that's what we have here in the city of Harvard.
Just to elaborate, I don't know anything about water, the water man, but I do know about this. That lady from Crestwood that had knowledge of that, she was indicted and convicted for tampering and not disclosing the contaminated water to that city.
So we do have a trained specialist, and they're who is responsible for that.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Wait, before you leave, just because it came up a couple times, I wasn't gonna mention this, but just so you have an update. I don't go into a lot of details, but the lawsuit that was filed against me to remove me from office back in June by a resident, W.C. Wolford, that the judge actually had recommended that my attorney file to dismiss it, make a motion to dismiss it. At that point, Alderman Keith Price and Alderman Donald Nesbitt, they amended it and they joined the lawsuit to get me removed from office. And as of this past Thursday, the judge actually dismissed the case.
Amen.
So just to give you a quick update on the status of that. it's in, you know, it was in court, and it's not in court right now, as of this past Thursday.
To these meetings because I don't know about other people, when people work in here all day, I mean, this is like after hours, people have to go to work the next day. To sit and listen to the argument, bickering, and I'm gonna speak for me, I'm not gonna speak for any other citizens. I wanna know what my money done. I'm serious, I wanna know what my money done.
No problem.
And because, just like you keep up here and say this broken hearted about kids that shoot, I understand, because I work with kids myself. Guess what? But all the money that's been lost on mismanaged here in Harvey the past 4 years at least, we could have had another community center. We could have had, even though Cedar don't have no more programs for some jobs, we could at least produce jobs for kids to even keep cleaning up all some of these abandoned properties, keep them ready. So, not just like give them some type of independence, so we don't have that.
We actually do have that. That's what I do every summer.
You know what?
I had to
Guess
do
what?
it this summer myself because no
That
bills
was good
were
on the
getting paid.
website, so then I can refer kids today.
But
That
that's
was
what-
real good on the website.
Did you just hear what I said though? I had to do it myself this summer because no bills were getting paid. So I was not gonna have, yeah, the whole year,
The whole
yeah.
year, but it's.
April, May, June, July, all the days.
$5,000 for beautification versus $50,000 the year
You know,
before.
it's our, you know, I'm close this out because, actually it's supposed to be 2 minutes and we have a young lady standing behind me. But, you know, when I was an alderman, one of the beautiful things, when I was alderman, I had selective send-offs. That I would come, I would send to the.
Anybody can do it.
No, excuse me, no, that just had nothing to do with you. I'm just saying I had selective send-offs that I would bring to the city council meeting and have them identify, you know, basically, you know, this person. And so I respect the beauty of democracy. And I respect those that come as agents of those that send them. With that said, certainly, I appreciate you, and I bring it to the next young lady. We certainly thank you. Yes, ma'am.
And I just want to say condolences to you, Mr. Eric Kellogg, about your family, Mr. Bishop, about your family, and everyone. You know, I wanted to bring some subjects up to the matter. I've been here, and anybody that knows me know I work with a lot of these children out here. And what we could do to resolve, instead of complaining about a lot of the situations, why don't we try to find solutions to the problem? And I'm talking to my fellow neighbors. You know, we talk about the different abandoned buildings that's out here. I have an organization called Women Building a Positive and Productive Change. Why don't you get a part of the program and say, well, why don't we take some of these abandoned buildings and turn them to community centers? Why don't we take some of these young people out like Mr. Price, Mr. Nesby, and Mr. Kellogg do, and take them out there and clean up the yards and things like that, like my dad do, and like some of the organizations, Black Men United for Peace, come out and clean up the neighborhoods. This is something that we do in Harvey as residents. I've been here. I've seen the changes, and I've seen some of the good, I've seen the bad, and I've seen the ugly. You understand what I'm saying? And what I'm saying is, we always talking about, we always nitpicking at the politicians. Okay, get off the politicians and get off the pity party, and then see what you could do as your own entity. You know what I'm saying? We as neighbors, we so busy fighting at the doggone politicians, we forget that we got a job to do in our own community. You know, and then it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna vote for the right politician. Okay, vote for the right one then. Okay, while you voting for the right one, do what you gotta do. Don't attack the mayor. Don't attack the aldermen. Attack your neighbor for being out there tearing up your neighborhood.
That's right.
Attack your fellow people that's out there throwing garbage in your yard. Have your different young people come out there and have them clean up their own neighborhood. Instead of coming up here causing all this chaos. I've been a resident of I've been here 25 years. I stayed at 15300 Myrtle Avenue for 25 years. Yeah, I just left the block. But I bet any kind of money, when you came down on Myrtle, I bet my block stayed clean. Did I go knocking on, Mr. Kellogg, can you make sure you send somebody to my house to clean up my block? No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I made sure that the young people in my neighborhood cleaned up the block. Asked Mr. Whittington, who donated this dumpster on my block. See, what I'm trying to tell you is, family, get involved in your own community. You talk about the abandoned houses, find out how we can work as a community, turn them different abandoned houses, them boarded up houses, into community centers. Rehab centers, we got a lot of drug addicts out here in Harvey. Why don't we try to work into the solution instead of complaining about the problem, be part of the solution? We fight Mr. Kellogg all the time. We fight Mr. Ness. We fight everybody. Come on, family, what y'all doing? I've been working in District 152 with Mr. Kellogg. You feel what I'm saying? And if you think I'm gonna sit here and let you attack him, you got me messed up. I'd be the wrong one. I'd be the wrong one. Because this man right here made sure my kids was very well taken care of when they went to school. As a assistant district superintendent. Don't get mad because I'm talking about good things about the man who walk out. Because while they were saying bad things,